All right, I'm trying this on a different device. So if you're used to watching me on YouTube and you're wondering why the video looks different, different angle, different device, but this is just for tonight. So bear with me as I get my other platform going, and we should be going live momentarily. But different angle, different device. So it's going to look a little different tonight for the sake of tonight's live. But give me a minute to get my other last remaining device going, and we should be up. I don't know what I'm typing here, but give me a minute here. I'm going to be asking what is definitely a controversial question tonight. We'll see how you guys feel about it, and we'll talk about it. Oops, didn't mean to hit that. There we go. I'm actually entering, getting my last one up here. So give me a minute. Oh shit. Tonight's going to be one of those live streams where you ask the question. You ever heard of the phrase, "If you can't beat them, join them"? That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I assume it might be somewhat controversial, but I want to hear it from an aspect of my liberals. I'm going to probably get some liberals that are not going to like what I'm talking about tonight, but I do want to speak more to MAGA if I can. So I'm going to try to make my settings so that I can get more MAGA viewers. And it is, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, just being honest with you, it is hard as hell to keep MAGA viewers because they just don't like anything critical of President Trump. The whole notion is that we're supposed to be for free speech. They like that, but if the speech is not positive for Trump, it's hard as hell to keep them. And I enjoy talking to MAGA, but you got to be free to speak your mind. I mean, when Trump is doing something I agree with, I'm willing to say that, but you can't just always give positive Trump news or negative Trump news. And yeah, like I said, it's hard to keep MAGA viewers because if you get critical, they leave. They will tune out. Let me see something here. And I mean, even if it's something that a large portion of the country may feel is wrong or they disagree with, they just leave. So it is hard to get MAGA. I would like to have a slew of MAGA on here with my liberal audience. I think the program would be much better if we had more, but they are very hard to keep. All right, so let me see if I can get the live going because right now I'm only on YouTube vertical right now. So if we can get this program started, that would be great. Okay, so and for you folks that are watching me on YouTube vertical right now, you're on a different device at a different angle. So tonight's view is going to look like this. It may look a little different. I don't know what you're used to seeing, but hopefully you can see it. You're on an iPhone tonight, so let me see if I can make sure everything else right. And oddly enough, the writing is so damn small, so I gotta look at the screen. My iPhone is much smaller than the tablet, so let me get my TikTok going, and we should be operating momentarily here. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start in three, two, one. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Tonight's going to be a little bit different, a little bit different program that we normally have. Listen, at the end of the day, there are reasons to compliment and often reasons to criticize the commander in chief, number 47. We're talking about President Trump. Tonight, we're going to take it from a different angle. And I'm sure that we will get into complimenting and criticizing the president and other politicians as usual. However, tonight I'm going to take it from a different angle. If you notice on the monitor behind me, two words: join us. I'm going to ask, simply put, and I'm hoping to get some MAGA viewers on this as well. Now, this is not going to be a show where there's a host of topics, just this one, because I'm going to go ahead and admit it's starting to appear as if Trump is falling under the category of If you can't beat him, join him. Yes, I did say that. If you can't beat him, join him. So, even as someone who leans left, I'm going to ask the controversial question of should the Democrats unite behind President Trump? Should the Democrats unite behind President Trump as opposed to the constant infighting that has been happening since Trump came on the scene? And if so, what do you think that would look like? Should the Democrats unite behind President Trump? Or how about more of the same? Do you think the Democrats should continue the fight against Trump? And that's fighting him on all fronts, fighting him on whether or not the big, beautiful bill, there was a fight there, obviously fighting him on border security, fighting him on how he feels about the Ukraine-Russian war, fighting him on how he feels about backing Netanyahu in Israel, fighting him on literally everything. Do you believe the Democrats should finally admit, acknowledge that Trump is winning no matter what the hell you're doing? I mean, let's just be clear about it. Trump is winning no matter what the Democrats are doing. Most of his agenda, most of his policies, most of his wishes in general as president are happening. Whether or not you agree with them, no matter how controversial they are, no matter even if some of them might be illegal, they are happening. It's coming to a point where, for lack of a better term, the man is unstoppable. The man is literally unstoppable. So I'm going to ask the simple question of should the Democrats, realizing that the Trump train is going to continue going no matter if there's track or not, should the Democrats just simply unite behind President Trump? And as I stated, if so, what would that look like? So looking in the comments, like I said, we're gonna have a straight heart to heart talk here. There's not a host of comments as usual, but this one here I decided to come across with because yeah, it's looking more and more like it's gonna be Trump, it's gonna be MAGA no matter what the Democrats, how the liberals feel. Now, this is an old clip from Trump, but I thought it was worthy of replaying here because it certainly plays along with what we're talking about tonight. I want you to hear this one because I think it kind of fits the narrative here. If I can find where he starts at, this is him.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Now that was Trump trying to get black voters back in 2000 in the 2016 election. Now keep in mind, you heard how dilapidated he made the black in the African American neighborhood sound. The schools, everything, the children, the progress, all of that sounded awful. Now that was in 2016 when Trump was running for president the first time. Now Trump has been in office for a full 4 years and now coming up on 5 months. I'm just going to ask a simple question. Do you believe the things he pointed out that were facing the black community has improved at all? Now that he got his wish. He got his wish. He was elected to be president. Do you believe those things he complained about in the black community were addressed, were improved, were fixed at all? I would love to ask you that because, like I said, he's telling you how bad things are for the African American community. Vote for me. What the hell you got to lose? The people did exactly that. Were they better off? in those communities. So anyhow, we're going to be asking that question simply put tonight. If you can't beat them, join them. And do you believe the Democrats should uh, simply just unite behind Trump, become a united country behind President Trump, as opposed to constantly attempting to thwart his agenda? Starting out right off the bat, gangsta grandma. I'm going to assume the answer is no, but I'll bring you right on up. I don't know what I'm hitting here. Gangsta. Oh, actually, I hit top dog. Top dog. Good evening. Welcome to the program. We're talking unity. What
What's
say
up?
you?
What's up, Tim?
Hey. So, what do you think? Do you think we might be better off as a country if we simply united behind Trump?
Hell no, Tim. That's only hell no. Why, what makes you say that, Tim?
Well, I'm asking that question because it does appear as if Trump is falling under the category of if you can't beat him, you might have to join him. It looks like his agenda, his wishes, his goals are happening as president. No matter who resists, he's getting what he wants. So is fighting indefinitely against the man really amounting to anything positive?
Nah, man. You definitely can't just say, okay, now we gotta get on his team because he won, and you say that he's winning. He's not winning too much for me, Tim. He's still a piece of shit.
Well,
It don't matter what he do. You might say, okay, well, you're gonna say, well, he closed the border, Tim. I didn't have no problem with the border. The
okay.
border didn't. I'm in Oklahoma, so the border just because he closed the border down, got it down to basically no crossing. I mean, that's fine, whatever. But that don't make me be like, oh, Trump's the best. No, he haven't done. He haven't done nothing. All he done so far is getting prices raised. That's what I
Well,
see you doing.
according to many, the price of groceries and fuel and things like that have somewhat come down.
No. Yeah, some things have, Tim, and but it's going to get worse when these tariffs kick in. This little 10 or 30%. Once they kick in and we start feeling it, yeah. When everything we need from China went up $3-4, and you start feeling it on everything you go buy, yeah, you're gonna feel it then.
So,
It's coming. Go ahead, Tim.
so how are we going to? How do we benefit if we just keep fighting with this guy indefinitely, while the other half of the country is talking about possibly reelecting him to a third term? What is the outcome?
Well, Tim, like I don't care what the other half of the country talking about doing. I'm not going to go vote for him for a third term. So I don't know why. I don't care what they doing over there. I don't care what MAGA's going to do for him. I don't. It is what it is.
No chance at unity at all, huh?
Nah. Cause I don't. I'm a black man, so I don't think he's out for me anyway. He's not doing nothing specifically for me as a black man. He ever done nothing for me? I don't see it.
Did you hear the
You know.
clip I just played of him?
No, I didn't, Tim. What he say?
I want you to. I'll play it again. I'm sure most of the folks heard, but I want you to hear it. This is Trump back in what do you want to say 2016 when he was running for president the first time, and he is asking for unity. This is him.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
He's offering to do quite a bit for the black community. Now, this was in 2016, so he did get
Okay,
elected.
Tim. Okay. What have he offered? What have he done for the black community, Tim? What have he done?
Well,
You're gonna say the first. You're gonna say the First Step Act. Okay, it was.
okay.
There was Hispanics released. It was whites released. It wasn't just blacks released in that deal.
Okay. Well, you know they're going to bring up, historically black colleges and universities. That routinely comes up with the HBCUs. They're going
Okay,
to
he gave
go ahead.
$250 million a year to HBCUs, right?
I don't know what the
That's
number
what he
is, but
get.
I know it
Well,
comes
it
up.
was like it was like it was like it was like 250 a year, I believe, something like that. Maybe I'm correct me if I'm wrong or whatever. Okay, when you talking about giving HBCUs $250 billion, I mean $250 million. I think Harvard's their endowment is like we're talking billions for one school, but you're talking giving a whole shitload of HBCUs $250 million a year. I mean that's cool, but you got to think Harvard over there, that makes over like $3, $4, $5 billion. So that's not a lot of money when you break it all down to all these colleges, Tim.
Well,
And also, hold on, Tim. We're talking in America. We talking trillions of dollars. You're giving 250 million to what 50, 60 colleges divided up.
yeah. Well, it's better than what he's doing for Harvard right now. So he's put black people in a higher. I mean, he's taking money away from the white man and giving it to black people. Is that something not to cheer?
Because he gave some money to HBCUs. That's
No,
what you're
he's
talking.
away from the from Harvard and Columbia. A lot of the white colleges and away from them while giving it to black colleges.
Okay, that's fine. So he's the hero because he gave some money to black colleges, something like that. You're
The,
saying, that's just
the,
you do little small things that don't make me think, oh, okay, he's not who he is because he gave some money to HBCUs. He's still the same person, Tim. Just because I throw a bone to the black people, this is what Black MAGA thinks. Well, if Trump do something for us, he like us. Well, if I do 100, if I do 99 things for the white community and I do one for the black community, Tim, what is that? That don't mean shit, right?
well,
See,
I'm gonna tell
Black
you.
MAGA believe.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim.
No, I'm going to
No,
tell
you
you
got it.
this.
Go ahead.
There are so many folks in the black community that would say no one in Washington ever throws even a bone to the black community. So if Trump is at least throwing a bone, that puts him at a higher level than most.
But you said because he gave money to HBCUs once again, Tim. That's what you're going on. Just that alone.
Well,
My family does.
let me give you a little bit more.
Yeah.
Is not a politician. He's a leader. Politicians are a dime a dozen. Leaders are priceless. The record funding Trump gave HBCUs is priceless too. So are the record number of jobs he created for the black community and the investment he drove into our neighborhoods with tax incentives and opportunity zones. And so are the lives he restored by passing criminal justice reform, where 91% of the inmates released are black. These achievements demonstrate that Donald Trump truly cares about black lives. His policies show his heart. He has done more for black Americans in 4 years than Joe Biden has done in 50.
That's coming from a black man. What? I mean, now I would be honest with you. That's my first time hearing that. I had never heard that before. What do you think? What do you think?
Black. Hey, he sounds just like Black MAGA, Tim. He sounds just like Black
Well,
MAGA. There you go, right there.
Well, listen, I'm not going to deny he sounds like Black MAGA, but keep in mind if Trump is doing more for the black community than Biden is, then that would mean we probably all should be Black MAGA, right?
No, not at all. Because see, once again, if you throw a little bitty bone to the black community, that means you really care about the black community, Tim. Because you go set up opportunity zone. What is opportunity zone? Let's talk about it. What is it?
Well, you know something. Go well. And by the way, real talk. Appreciate that, Dinosaur. Thank you, real talk. I got a minute to glimpse that. I suppose he is suggesting that in these areas there would be opportunities for the inhabitants. That's what I'm thinking. Now, I could look it up in more detail,
Yeah,
but
see.
go ahead.
But that's just like another thing when Trump go to the Middle East and come back and say, "Well, we got $5 trillion in investments." Just because they said it, that don't mean shit, Tim.
Yeah, but what about this guy suggesting, real talk, damn, thank you. What about this guy suggesting that Trump is responsible for it? Hey, I'm appreciating the support. We've been kind of short on that lately. Thank you. What about Trump? What about Trump? I mean, not Trump, but this individual here saying that Trump has freed a lot of African Americans from incarceration. Is that not something the black community should be chiding and celebrating?
I mean, I ain't gonna say celebrate it. We appreciate it. That's cool.
So
you let some blacks out of prison. We appreciate it.
Well,
We appreciate it. Okay,
well,
okay.
but that's what he's saying when he's suggesting that he's doing more than Biden has, because Biden isn't known for really pardoning any African Americans, is he?
Tim. See, I'm glad you brought this up. See, just because you pardon the black community, we're supposed to get excited because somebody that committed a crime and now we're supposed to get excited just like right now he pardoned Larry Hoover, right? You seen that today, right?
No, I didn't. Trump pardoned Larry Hoover?
Yes, look it up, Tim.
Why aren't you giving this man credit? Damn. I mean, what else does he have to do?
Hold on, Tim. But he still got 200 years of state time left.
Okay.
So, okay. No, that's not Tim. No, it's not okay.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Here, let me say it this way. If Trump was to pardon Derek Chauvin, the killer of George Floyd, even though Derek Chauvin has state time remaining, we would be all over that. We would be pissed off. If Trump pardoned Larry Hoover, he's showing solidarity to Larry Hoover, at least within his power. He can't touch the state time, but that shows he is once again doing something for the black man. Can you give him credit? No, because once again, just because you pardon somebody out of prison, the black community is not supposed to get excited and jump around. Because so what? No, hold on, Tim. When he pardoned the white community, do they get up and get all happy? Oh, look what he's doing for us. No, just because you pardon somebody out of prison. So what? If he was the pardon, you asked about the white community. If he was the pardon Derek Chauvin, a large portion of the white community would be celebrating. Yes. Well, I don't know. You sure you don't fall in that category as someone who wouldn't give him credit even if he cured cancer? Nah, because I'm gonna tell you why, Tim. I mean, the type of person I am. Once you show me who you are, and I believe he showed me what I needed to see out of him through his last administration and things like that, and what he's doing in 2025 and firing all the generals, the black generals, and doing things like that. He's showing me that who I believe he is. So no matter what he do, I know you who you are in my mind. So no matter what, I just don't see it, Tim. I don't see. I believe Trump. I believe he just don't fuck with black people. Excuse my language, Tim. But you just admitted he pardoned Larry Hoover. How can he not fuck with black people? Tim, look who else he pardoned. He pardoned that white couple out of Georgia that was doing the free. He just because you pardon, these rappers and all that. That don't mean that means nothing to me as a black man in the black community, Tim. So just because you pardon Larry Hoover, I'm not like, oh, okay, he liked the black community. No. Do something more positive for the black community. Pay for some kids to go to school for free. Do something like that in the black community. Go build something in the black community, Donald Trump. You do something like that. Go into the inner city. Walk down the neighborhood since you're such a good president. Well, you do realize there's video of Trump in the inner city walking into restaurants talking with the black community, right? That was during the campaign, wasn't it, Tim? You just asked me. You just asked for. Wait. But Tim, that's during the campaign. Of course, you're gonna walk through there. That's during the campaign. It sounds like now. You know what he did, Tim? This is what he done. He did what he said. Whatever he had to say to black MAGA to get their vote. He sold them whatever he had to sell them to get their vote. So a lot of black MAGA, they voted for Trump. They thought the economy was going to get better. They thought their accounts was going to go crazy and things like that. Now you're going to say, Tim, only been 6 months. Well, Trump wanted to say day one. I'm not going to argue with the fact that he said day one and did not meet a lot of his promises. But what I am going to push back and say, it doesn't sound like when he does things for the African American community, you're going to give him any credit for it. He has done some things. Why is he not getting credit for it? Okay, give him credit for it, Tim. So what? What did he do? He let he pardoned Larry Hoover. What else he do? He did opportunity zones that I don't know what they are, Tim. So you mentioned the hip hop. Well, let's see if we can hear a little bit more to discuss.
Economically, and culturally polarizing news. The truth is, our nation's arc always bends back towards fairness. We are not fully where we want to be, but I thank God Almighty, we are not where we used to be. We are always striving to be better.
That is the one and only Senator Tim Scott. Now, there's a whole lot more you can say. I don't want to play this whole video, but he's thanking God we're striving to be better under Trump. No, you don't see any light at the end of the tunnel at all.
Hey Tim, you know how I feel about Tim Scott. I don't call him Tim Scott. I call him Tim Bucking Scott. It's a difference. It's a difference. That's Tim Bucking Scott. Ever since he got on that stage, Tim, and said, "I just love you, man," or whatever he said, and whatever those words was,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of respect for him, man. I just did. So anything that he say, Tim, I just turned. I scroll on. I don't even take him seriously, Tim. I'm just being honest with you.
Oh my God. Well,
I don't take him seriously at all.
well, I mean, he was a senator. You don't give him any credit for that. I mean, the Republicans elected a black man as a senator, which is a pretty high spot.
Tim Epps. Hey, I'm from Oklahoma, so I don't know what he's doing out there in South Carolina, Tim. You know, that man right there, him and
South
Byron
Carolina,
Donalds.
where
Hold on,
we've done
my
really
damn. Go ahead, say that again.
No, but him and Byron Donalds, they're in the same boat with me. You know what I mean? This is what I want to say, Tim. It's okay to be a black Republican. It's okay to be a black MAGA. But the issue is, if you act like, let me give you some examples that I respect black MAGA. Like a Charles Payne, right? Charles Payne from Fox.
Fox News,
He's black
yeah.
Republican. He's
Yeah.
solid. He don't get on TV and get on camera and start talking down about the black community. I'm not saying he haven't, but that's not what we traditionally do. Give me a Ben Carson. You know, they don't get on camera and start. Now you want to start bashing the black community. That's what a lot of black MAGA do. They want to bash the black community. Oh, black people this, black people this, black people this, black people this, and that's the problem.
I
Just be a
cannot.
cool Republican. You know, Charles Payne, cool. He cool. He laid back. He don't get on all that bullshit. I can respect him, but the other ones, nah. Tim Scott, Byron Donalds, nah.
Top dog, I do got to move it on. I cannot argue with that. I'll elaborate on it in a minute, but thank you for coming through.
All right, holla at me, Tim. Been a minute.
Anytime. Appreciate it. You know, real quick before I go on to the next caller. By the way, tap the screen. I'm on the backup profile, just stretching the legs on it. Haven't used it in a while. For you folks that are watching on YouTube, horizontal here, I'm on a different device at a different angle, so you're seeing me a little different than you normally do. Tap the screen, by the way, though. Get the likes up to about 10,000. I'll take the next caller. And feel free to share the live. I don't ask you folks to do that as much, but feel free to share the live. In regards to what my last caller said, that resonates. That absolutely does resonate. That last part where he was comparing the likes of Charles Payne or Ben Carson to, let's say, Candace Owens. He mentioned Byron Donalds and Tim Scott and some of these folks. That resonates, and I'll tell you why it resonates, at least with yours truly. He is correct that a lot of African Americans, and probably Hispanics as well, once they become conservative, they don't just stand on conservative principles, which there's nothing wrong with that. Pro-life, pro-2A, small government, fiscal responsibility, nothing wrong with that at all. The problem, like he pointed out, is they start criticizing heavily their own communities. That's where you get the sellout, as he mentioned, Buck, what do you call him, Bucking or something like. I mean, that's where that comes from. I don't have an answer for that, but I do agree with him that a lot of blacks that become conservative suddenly just continue to engage in negative rhetoric and negative commentary about their own community. And that has nothing to do with being a conservative. I don't know why that is, but every time you don't hear Candace Owens talking about the black community unless it's something negative. I just don't know. Other than she might be grifting and making a ton of money off of it. But even on the apps here, even on these platforms here, I'm sure a lot of you folks tune in to conservative lives, conservative social media pages that feature a black host, and they're just constantly trashing the black community. There's one in particular for some of my TikTok viewers. You often see me in, because I only go in MAGA social media pages when I'm not doing my own live. I like speaking to MAGA and I like to hear the other side. So you only see me on right wing pages. And there's one in particular. What is it? Darren and Snacks or whatever it's called. I'm sure many of you have seen it if you're scrolling through TikTok. Every single day, two African Americans, every single day they feature a topic that's critical of the black community. every day, like literally every day. If you go to their page, they're constantly talking negative about the black community. I don't know why conservatives do that. I don't have any way to, and I don't have any analysis of that. I don't know why it happens that way, but they do. And I'll tell you one thing though, it will give you a huge white audience if you do it. If I got on here and just bashed all of the negatives, the antics of the black community, and there's a lot of things to bash. There's a lot of black on black crime and things that happen in our neighborhoods. There's plenty you could tackle, but there's good stuff happening too. They ignore that. They go straight for the bad, and that's all they talk about. Anyway, looking in the comments. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes on up. Get your boy up to 10,000. I'll take the next caller at 10. Good minute of tapping on TikTok. Looking in the comments. Black people need to wake up. The Republic was against slavery. The Democrats was for slavery, says Southeast over on Clapper. Well, here's the problem with that. Southeast. There's a lot of African Americans that were brought up on the notion that the party switched. I know if you lean right, you don't acknowledge the switching of the party. But listen, I'm Gen X. I grew up in the 70s, and all of our grandparents would have told us about that. So, folks in modern time denying the party switch and things like that, we grew up knowing that actually happened. So, yeah, the Democrats were for slavery and things like that, but the Democrats also were for civil rights and all of that as well. So, clearly something happened. I mean, you look at the Democratic Party that was for slavery, the Confederate South, and you look at who is defending the Confederate flag and all of that stuff now, and it's clear something happened. I mean, you think about the ancestry of the South. Now the South is almost all red and conservative now. But back in the day, it was pro-slavery. So obviously something happened. They went from being, anti-slavery to being in favor of Confederate flags and statues and voting Republican. There's clearly a switch that took place, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. But looking in the comments, it went from physical slavery to mental slavery, welfare, abortion, homosexuality. Huh? I don't know if homosexuality and pro-choice, pro-life is considered to be physical slavery. I'll leave that one at that. Thank you for the sub, Miss Mo Better. A lot of lazy thumbs in here, though. Tap the screen, get the likes up. If the party switched, wait a minute, let me read that with my spectacles on here. If the party switch says 864 ice cold, if the party switched, name all the races that went to Republican. You can only name one. The races stayed in the Democratic Party. I can give you a clip of Martin Luther King pretty much acknowledging the party switches in real time. I mean, not only did the party switch happen, he literally is being interviewed and discussing it in real time. So, like I said, we can kind of deny it all you want, but in my opinion, the evidence that a party switch happened is fairly overwhelming. But I'll give you the clip before we take the next caller. We should be at 10K by that moment, but I'll give you a clip. This is Face the Nation, and this is MLK himself acknowledging the party in the process of switching. It was happening in real time for him.
Biden will become the first sitting president to speak during a Sunday service at the Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, where Reverend Martin Luther King was once a pastor. King appeared on Face the Nation in May of 1964 when he was working along with President Johnson to get the Civil Rights Act passed.
Dr. King, in light of recent statements of Senator Barry Goldwater and, in some cases, Richard Nixon, do you think there is a real danger of the Republican Party becoming the white man's party in this country?
I think this is a real danger, and I've talked with some Negro Republicans who are very concerned about this. I see trends and developments which will reveal that unless the liberals of the Republican Party take play a much more decisive role in leadership positions, this will become a white man's party. And I think this would be tragic for the Republican Party as well as tragic for the nation.
Now, he's talking about if the liberals in the Republican Party don't speak up, it could become a white man's party. Has anybody talked about liberals in the Republican Party anytime recently? Obviously, something was different when he was talking about this than it is now. Now, he is concerned that the Republican Party may become the white man's party. That's not a concern in modern time. I mean, the Republican Party is overwhelmingly white. So clearly, the switch is happening in front of his face. I mean, he's concerned that if the liberals don't speak up, it could possibly become the white man's party. There are no liberals in the Republican Party anymore. So there's a switch right there for you there. Is that he is discussing something that no longer exists in the Republican Party. Where are the liberals at now? So there's your switch. He's talking about liberal. And this is dated May 10, 1964. May 10, 1964. That he's talking about if the liberals in the Republican Party don't speak up. So unless we want to just denounce Martin Luther King as being fake news, then it is what it is. But May 10th, 1964 is when he said that. Anyway, looking in the comments before we continue on, thank you for the tapping of the screen. I'll go ahead and bring up the next caller there, and that will indeed be Gangsta Grandma. Good evening,
I
Gangsta.
can't stand you. Look at you fluffing, man. Like the last caller, you was fluffing. Oh, to go, you don't give that damn white man no props. Fuck no. The racist ass Ku Klux Klan you want to give
Well, wait a minute. Wait, no, I'm asking a question. Simply put, Trump's agenda is going through. The wishes that Trump wants are happening no matter how the liberals feel about it. Should the Democrats join and unite behind Trump? Because
Hell no.
just keep fighting them.
Why would we join the Triple K, fool?
Well,
what the fuck? And then the person that said that the party didn't switch, oh yes, we switched. Go look at the Republican Party, it's all white tea people. Go look at Biden, it was all the rainbow. We had black women, we had brown people, we had the whole damn United Nations up in that bitch. But you go up to the Triple K, it's all what? Hell. Like burnt mayonnaise up in that bitch. They can't shit. They burn.
Yeah, I'll concede the fact that the folks saying the party switch did not happen doesn't make sense. I mean, in other words, you get civil rights and they just all of a sudden reward them by going to the other party. That makes if the Republican Party did everything right, why are the Democrats voting left? Are all of the blacks just stupid? I mean, that's kind of what they're saying.
The black maggots. They want to be white so bad. I swear to God, you gave them a thing of bleach, they would bleach their asses. Because they want to be next to white so fucking bad. And then you got Snap, the convicted fucking felon. The pie got busted up in his fucking ass in the prison system. Came out to be a whole fucking bitch. You feel what I'm saying? And I wish Snacks would bring me out. Because I'll bring his fucking chicken ass neck too. He's a sellout. Ku Klux Klan fucking member. He will go and say, yes, master, while they're going to hang his ass, okay? Yeah. Well, I can't stand that man. I cannot. He's the biggest fucking sellout I ever did see.
Wow. Now,
always want to talk shit about the black community. But that motherfucker was in it too. That's why he went to the fucking pen. The FIFA. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying?
And Snacks is the one that I let them know before you came on is the one I normally talk. You know, in my opinion, though, and you are correct, he served time or whatever. I don't normally see African Americans in particular that serve time in a pen and then they get out defending the white man and criticizing him. In my opinion,
he probably got booty busted by a white man and became his bitch. That's what happened. Let's keep it a buck, man.
No, I don't want to.
White tea bitch up in there. And then Snack became, oh, yes, master. I want that juicy booty. You feel what I'm saying?
No. You know, I'll tell you what I think it is. Just like I mentioned with Candace Owens. In my opinion, what Snacks is. What? No, I don't want to. No, I don't even think it's a matter of selling out, as you're saying. I think what Snacks and Duran are doing are grifting because they're getting gifts and rewards for trashing the black community.
They want to be white so fucking bad. They think the white man's going to have their back. That's what they think. They think that, oh my God, if I get cootie booty with the burnt mayonnaise, then they're going to like me. That shit.
What is burnt mayonnaise?
Burnt mayonnaise?
Yeah,
they burnt mayonnaise. The white tea mayonnaise, burnt mayonnaise. The maggots are.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, but you know when you say stuff
I
like,
have no respect for the maggots. I'm not saying the normal white tea people that voted for her. I'm not talking about their asses. I'm talking about the burnt mayonnaise. They just want to be burnt mayonnaise. They want to be right up their asses so bad.
so it's safe to assume you are quote unquote not racist because a lot of my viewers think you're racist or white.
I don't give a fuck what the white tea man thinks I'm racist. I give the same fucking energy back. You know what I'm saying? See, I'm not like you, okay? Girly pop, I'm not like you. I don't cupcake to them. I don't go on their lives and say, yes, I'm this. No, bitch. You vote against my rights. You vote against them taking African-American books out of our schools. You're going against me. So fuck you, fuck your mama, fuck your daddy, and everything else. And I don't like you.
What about the notion that Trump is trying to just make sure children in schools are not having bullshit shoved down their throats?
Oh, so Black History is bullshit? Oh my God. Okay. Like, you know what? Like, Black History wasn't American history? Get the fuck out of here.
Well, not from that standpoint. And by the way, hold on a second. I got to put my spectacles on to read this. Joshua Durer. You have to.
Going on in their lives kissing, you be feet and cupcaking with them on there. I be seeing you. They won't bring me up because I will roast them to the fucking hell and back. I'll take them to the gutter.
There's no cupcake going on. Hold on a second, gangster. Gangster. Gangster.
You be cupcaking.
Hold on one second, Gangster Grandma. Joshua, I see you on YouTube. You can't bring up callers on YouTube, unfortunately, but we are on Clapper and TikTok under the same name. If you come on Clapper or TikTok, Handsome Liberal, we'll bring you right up. Thank you for your support. We'll bring you right up.
That's right ring right there. You see how you be cupcaking? Clapper is right wing.
Why wait.
Capital.
You're telling me as a voter, as a constituent, as a patriotic American, it's wrong to even affiliate or talk to the folks on the right at all?
Yeah. You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm not nice like you. I can't be nice to motherfucker that voted against me, that voted against my fucking rights, that voted against my kids' rights, that took my books out of my school system and tells what we can and cannot do, and put the Bible in the damn school system and try and switch everything up, take our civil rights and shit away, take our damn, making the popos come after us, and you want us to buttercup with them? Fuck you.
We're not. Wait, hold on. How would you respond, first of all, to folks who are on right now suggesting that your attitude is why the Democrats got their ass kicked a few months ago?
No. You know what? They didn't even get the asses whooped. You know what happened? We had third-party voters. We had the fucking pro-Palestine. We didn't want to vote for her because she's genocide, all that bullshit. Then we had the other fucking idiots that didn't want to vote for her because she's a black woman that was fucking educated. They'd rather have the United States fucking burned than any fucking thing else. So shut the fuck up about it was about how we fucking think. No, motherfuckers. Half you motherfuckers are racist and piles of fucking shit.
How about simply being willing to have a dialogue with all voters in the other side of the aisle? You can't have a
dialogue with fucking racists. You're not going to. I'm never going to be nice to them after what the fuck they did to us. Look what the fuck we got in the fucking office. A fucking boondock motherfucker that can't even do shit right. That's pardoning the fucking white man that did what? Tax evasion. Pardon them. Oh my God. Oh, he did what? Hoover? Only the federal? He gave you a fucking bone and you're chewing on it.
You do realize Biden pardoned his whole damn family before leaving, right?
Because they was going after him. For what? But what did Hunter really do? Hunter was not even in the fucking office, not even in a branch, and they kept on going after him for nothing.
Maybe they wouldn't go after him if he didn't commit a crime.
But look at the burnt mayonnaise that's in office right now. Look at them. They're making billions and billions, and not one motherfucker is saying shit.
You don't think that the Biden family
are making billions?
You don't think that Hunter Biden was making not billions, but millions? You don't think Hunter Biden was getting paid?
That's it. He's not in the White House. And they cleared him. He has nothing to do with the fucking White House. Now, Trump's kids are in the fucking White House.
Okay, when you say Hunter Biden has nothing to do with the White House, have you heard of the phrase 10% to the big guy?
Oh my fucking God, Tim, do you see how you fucking fluff it?
I'm asking a question.
How much?
10%. What does that mean? What does that mean?
How much down are you going to do for the fucking orange Cheeto head?
What does 10% to the big guy mean to you?
It has nothing to do with him, though. It has nothing to do with the White House. They were just going after him because of his past. He had nothing to do with it. He had no title of the White House. The only thing they was going after because he was Biden's son. Biden's son, that's all.
No,
That's all they had on him.
you don't believe there's any possibility at all that Biden was that Hunter Biden was getting employment, getting paid, and getting assets because of who his father was.
They say what they were doing. They found no wrongdoing. They said it. They cleared him. And guess fucking what? The only thing they had was a pew-pew. Pew-pew. That's all they did on him was a pew-pew.
Yeah.
Oh, my fucking God, he lied on an application of a pew-pew. That's all they got him on. But look at the fucking twits. The little fucking mayonnaise right now. What are they doing?
You're telling me that Biden's Justice Department found no wrongdoing by his son, and you buy that?
I sure do buy it because they did find him nothing. But look what they're doing now. Look what Trump is doing. You say Trump is winning? All he's doing is making him fucking money. You can pay him and he'll give you pardons. Those two white tea people paid him the pardon. Oh. Look, like our president is for sale. Our president is for sale.
I don't deny that them meeting with him and giving him money probably has something to do with their pardons, but do you think Trump's the first person to do something like that?
Yeah. I can do it wide fucking open. And not one fucking thing is doing, like the Republicans are being bitches. All of them are being bitches. They don't have a backbone. And let me tell you this, and I'm being honest with you. The midterms are going to be a bloodbath. The midterms are going to be a bloodbath. And guess what? I guarantee you another Republican will never set office and have fucking thing again. You watch. After all the shit we've been through, our civil rights are being taken. Women's rights are being, demolished. There's a dead woman that has to have a baby that is not even going to make it because they want to keep her as an incubator and the baby ain't even getting no nutrition. Look what the fuck the United States have become. What trash to other people. What a laughing stock.
But wait a minute.
They're calling him Taco, for God's sake.
Gangsta Grandma, being honest, women have not lost any rights officially under Trump.
What the fuck are you talking about? Women have not lost no goddamn fucking rights. When has that goddamn thing had for your dick and your balls? When have they said, get your shit clipped?
Give me a right that women had before Trump that they no longer have now.
We had a right to have an abortion.
That's not a right. That was a privilege.
That is all good. Roe versus Wade. They took Roe versus Wade from us.
Right, but that was not a right.
That was our thing. That was our protective. That we go and have one protected and safe. What are you talking about?
It was not a right, though, gangster.
You know what? I'm about to choke you the fuck out. I want to become goddamn ghost dad. And you know what? I will. Because you are disgusting. You're a disgrace to a man.
What? I'm asking questions. I want to get your take on it. Why I gotta be?
Why should we have? You know what? Why should anybody? I don't give a fuck what color man is. Tell us what we can and cannot do with our bodies. But yeah, you motherfuckers can go out and put your dick in any damn thing and get knocked out, get everybody knocked the fuck up, and we have no say. We can't. We have to have a baby where we don't even want the damn thing.
Okay, I want you.
Fucking bird.
I appreciate your passion, but I want you to explain this shit to me since you're talking about a man that's telling you what the hell to do with your body. If that is the case, why the hell did Trump win the women's vote? The women voted that guy in.
The ignorant is the white tea women. Yes, master. Yes, master. That's what they want. They had to listen to their fucking white tea men. Oh, yes. I got fall with me. But guess what? Guess who's going to be crying at the end? It's the white tea women that got the most of them. The married white tea women.
Well, if Trump made it clear that he was looking to go pro, if Trump made it, hold on, hang on.
They didn't want a black woman in office.
Whatever. If Trump made it clear he was heading towards a pro-life agenda and the women's vote still went to Trump, you can't blame that on men, Gangsta Grandma. Can't blame it on men.
It's the man it was the man that took it from us. Roe versus Wade. It was Donald Trump. So fuck him, fuck everything about him, and fuck everybody that was on it. on him, okay? Fuck them all. And guess what? Karma is coming because midterms is going to be big and bad. And guess what? We're going to come back winning. We're going to come back. And guess what? The white man's going to be big mad. They didn't want a black woman in fucking office. They're racist. They're pieces of shit. They're fucking racist. Half of the United States is racist. They didn't want her in office. She was more educated and they more powerful than this piece of shit is.
All right.
We are the laughing stock of the world. We are. We are.
I'll leave it at that. Gangsta grandma, as always.
And let me tell you something. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Who's telling you to keep your balls? Who's telling you that? Who's going to do mass vasectomies? Who's making you do that?
No one. No one is making me.
There's every fucking law in the down south. There's a heartbeat law.
I'll tell you it is. I'll tell you this.
Our bodies.
I'll tell you this. If women were trying to make us clip our balls, we wouldn't vote the woman in office. You guys voted. Women voted Trump in office.
So hold the fuck up. I'm for one. I'm not white. I voted for her. I'm a black woman. You know, I'm Afro-Latina. I voted for her. I wanted my babies to get their rights back. I wanted my babies to learn that black history in fucking school and stuff. No, I didn't vote for that, the Triple K. You got me fucked up. Don't say we.
All right.
To the white tea women.
I'm just saying.
The fucking the bitches. The ones that the shit they came for. The ones that they want to be fucking, whatchamacallit. They want, see, let me tell you something about the white tea women. That's how stupid these motherfuckers are. They wanted them to be birthing. Because you know why? Because the white tea people are going bye-bye. So because, you know why? Because they want the black chocolate. They want that. They want the dang-a-lay. So they're obsessed with the black men. So that they're having mixed babies. And the white tea men don't like that. So that's why they took away Roe versus Wade. So they can have fucking more white tea babies. Let's get the truth out.
I gotta go. Thank you, Gangsta Grandma.
You don't want the truth, do you?
Always.
You didn't like the truth, do you?
I gotta go. All right, moving on with the program. That is Gangsta Grandma, everyone. As I said, we do believe in free speech, uncensored. You guys know how we are. I don't know where I get my... We are indeed MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. Joshua, see you there. By the way, if you enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, congratulations, you're in the right place. I'll ask that you follow the program if you're viewing on... currently, we're on Clapper and we're on TikTok. Sometimes we're on Instagram as well. If you enjoy Civilized Dialogue from outside City Out, give us a subscription if you're watching on YouTube horizontal or YouTube vertical. Continuing on with the program, we'll go to Clapper and see if I can actually make this happen here. Joshua, good evening. Can you hear me there?
Doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Good to have you on.
Oh, can you hear me, sir?
Loud and clear.
All right. Well, like, I'm a big history buff. Hey, I'll run you. Take my earbuds out here. So I'm a huge history buff. And I've seen through over the years, you know, especially with LBJ, and just like all the histories.
Okay, Henry, you're getting muffled.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, but you were muffled there for a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. I was in the military for 21 years.
Okay.
Been deployed with everybody from every single race, culture, religion, everything. They've all been my brothers and sisters, all of them. And at a certain point, race, religion, culture, everything just smashed together and we're all just family.
Yeah, but in the military, you got a lot riding on unity as opposed to in society. But before you continue, I don't know if you're getting real close to the mic or something, but some of your wording is muffled and you're a little harder to hear. So I don't know if you're close to the mic, but I heard you say that in the military you were affiliated with everybody, and it kind of becomes a diverse crowd, but. You know, if you're in a foxhole, you don't give a damn about the race of the person that's helping you. But if you're actually working on an assembly line or something like that, it might be a different story. But keep going.
No, I get that. Is it better?
Yeah, much better.
So, but I believe that the Democratic Party, if you look at them and the history they have had, I think they need scare tactics, and I don't know exactly how to explain it, but they use fear tactics to keep the African American people and all the other races not white keep voting for them. And I've seen this for years.
Well,
I
I'll say this: you think that only the Democrats are you don't think that Trump uses fear tactics as well? You don't think he paints a picture that if Biden won, the country is going to be destroyed and things like that? You only think the Democrats do that?
would say I think that they should portray it way better because Trump never had the media.
You really it's hard to I don't know something about your mic is making you really difficult to understand. I'm trying to pull you out there, but
iPhone. If I can take it off speaker, I'm sorry about that.
yeah, try that. Okay, you could drive a truck through this guy's nostrils. Somebody's looking. Who said that? Safari. Okay, hey, you're not African American, obviously. Okay, are you there, Joshua? Joshua, are you there? Now it shows you're on mute. Are you there, Joshua?
Yeah, I have it.
Okay, go ahead.
And I'm trying to put it on non-speaker.
Yeah, your audio is getting challenging to bring you to continue the conversation, man. I don't know what's going on, but I would like to continue the conversation with you, but I may have to drop you because it's just so difficult. Can you hear me at all
I
now?
understand that.
Yeah, Joshua, we're gonna have to do it another time. I'm gonna have to drop you, unfortunately, and I don't like to drop folks, but the audio was just because we got multiple screens and things like that. Other people can't hear them either. Looking in the comments real quick though, you can and Joshua, come on back anytime. My door's always open to you. Looking in the comments real quick though, before we continue on, asking the question: should the Democrats just join Trump? Can't beat them, join them. You've heard that phrase before. Trump's agenda, Trump's legislation, his pardons, simply his way of life, his agenda. Whether you like it or not, it's happening. Even if it's not legal, he's getting things done that many are arguing that are not even legal to do. I mean, you got an issue with him accepting a $400 million jet. Who gives a fuck? He has the jet coming to him now. I mean, he's getting things done whether you like it or not. So I'm asking from a standpoint of can't beat him, join him. Should you just simply get behind the guy and unite as a country as opposed to continue to fight someone that literally it literally the guy's going to win. I mean, he's coming across as Teflon Don. And real quick in the comments, somebody said it might have been Bluetooth on the last caller. He was talking about speakerphone, so I don't think that's the case. But for continuing on, that's none of your business. Pay what you owe. Don't know what that means there. Why isn't another black? What does that says? Why isn't there another Black Wall Street? To my knowledge, Black Wall Street was a collection of businesses in one place. There's actually far more success in the black community than Black Wall Street. There's plenty of Black Wall Streets. Similar, what I want to say, there are plenty of comparable Black Wall Streets in modern day America all over the damn place. You go into black neighborhoods, there are a host of shops, dentists, doctors, outfits like that. There's plenty of that stuff now all over the black community. I mean, Tyler Perry has a whole movie studio down in Georgia. There's plenty of it now. Whereas in the 1920s, you only have one little spot here in Tulsa, maybe one over in the North Carolina area, or whatever. I mean, it wasn't many of them, but now there are black businesses all over the damn place, law firms, everything. So there's plenty of it. Continuing on with the callers, tap the screen, get your boy on up to. I'm just having a hard time seeing tonight. Get your boy up to 30,000. Tap the screen. Does he just pick a clapper viewer? I'm not sure how this works. Well, before I go to the next call, I'll tell you we're on multiple platforms right now. We're currently on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and we're not Instagram tonight. We're on Clapper, TikTok, and YouTube. We're not on Instagram tonight. Clapper, TikTok, and YouTube. So if you're on any of those platforms, you're watching live, and we pick viewers and things like that from all of them. YouTube, unfortunately, you can't pick a caller to talk to though. Continuing on with Miss Mo Better, we're talking about joining Trump. Talking about the Democrats unite behind Trump. What say you, Miss Mo Better?
Absolutely not. Listen, you got to stand for something or you'll fall for anything. Some people still have morals. The Trump is morally bankrupt.
Elaborate.
And
What is Trump doing to make you say that?
First of all, he doesn't know how to speak to people. He gets on national TV calling people out his name. He's disrespectful to other leaders. And the only reason why he appears to be winning now is because for cronyism. He has all of his peoples in office and in place. So of course it's gonna appear that he's winning because they're allowing him to do that.
But what about the notion that Biden got on television and was critical of Trump supporters? I think he called them dark MAGA or ultra MAGA or something. I mean, Biden. You say Trump don't know how to speak to people. Biden was
that a lie though?
Depends on who you ask. I don't think MAGA thought it was the truth.
That's what. Okay, so that can go both ways. Well, it depends on who you ask. You understand what I'm saying? But to say just to join forces with him, no, he wouldn't. He didn't want to work with the Democrats on anything. He didn't want to work with the other side. So why should people just bow down because he appears to be winning?
Well, I don't know.
He is winning for himself. He's doing everything illegal. But right now, he got everybody in place to say that, no, we're not going to investigate him. We're not going to impeach him. We're not going to do anything that should be happening to him because that's our man.
So does it make sense to continue pushing back and fighting what appears to be a losing battle indefinitely?
It absolutely does make sense.
So what do you expect?
Why wouldn't you? Why would you just surrender? Just to say, especially too, he's only a temporary man. Why would you? You still have people that again have some type of humility and moral.
What do you expect?
They want to turn the country into this again a whitewashed, Bible thumping place, which is what it used to be. And this was, and that started out way before the parties were even existed. Before the parties existed, it was only black and white. There was no Democrat or Republic. So if people really want to go back to history, let's go all the way back to then. So even when you talk about the party switch, there was only one party. There was only one government. It wasn't no Republican, Democrat. It was just one government. Then there was black and white people. It was black and whites. It had nothing to do with a party. So then once they started fighting in-house, once they started fighting amongst each other, then they felt they had to split because there's no way I'm going to let these peons eat at the same table as me. They're beneath me, and this was their ideology back before the parties even started.
So in modern times, you're suggesting we keep fighting Trump even though he's winning at every turn. What is the goal? What are you going to accomplish fighting this guy and just losing indefinitely?
So what would be the goal? What would be the goal joining him? So we're gonna all fall together because it might appear that he's winning now, but he's not. What he's doing, he's destroying. He's actually destroying he's even destroying the people that supports him, not just the ones that are against him.
Wait, who is being destroyed?
Listen, there's people that's gonna be passed away because they don't have health insurance. You got people that's lost their jobs. Taxes are going up on people that barely are working on minimum wage. All of that stuff is going up. So, like I said, his first quarter again, because he did all of that stuff with the tariffs and all of that stuff, it appears that we're in a good place. Wait till the second quarter once the health insurance stops for a lot of people. Well, people can't afford to buy groceries because he cut the SNAP program. and different things like that.
Well,
We're going to suffer.
according to Trump, the cuts were made to the SNAP and welfare program so that illegal immigrants could not get it, and he's not touching Medicaid and Medicare. So he's saying
And
something different
he's
than what you're saying.
lying. He's lying, Tim. That's what he does. His thing is he wakes up and he blinks lies. He ain't even got to open his mouth. He can blink and the lie just fall right off his eyelash.
Well, if you're gonna suggest if you're gonna suggest he lies that much, I want you to hear this clip and you tell me where the lie is.
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win so.
What do you think about that rant? Now, do you think
We're going to win so much. We're going to win so much.
Is there any lies in that?
No, for him, no. That was for him and the NRA and the white nationalists, the white Christian nationalists. That's who that's for.
So you believe right now the white
that's who that's for. That wasn't for us. The people that they're feeding off of. They're like leeches and plankton is what they're like.
So you believe right now as we speak, white Christian nationalists are winning.
Yep. That's who's winning. They're getting their way with Bible, 10 Commandments, and all of that stuff being put back up in schools, and no gun control, none of that. That's all of their things. Those are their programs or whatever, or their communities, for lack of a better word.
Well,
but those are all of their things.
I kind of have. I mean, I kind of have to ask you. I mean, if you voted in a Democrat, do you really think you're going to? I mean, especially when you're talking about gun control, has the Democrats showed you they're going to do any better?
Well, what power do they have right now to do anything?
I mean, even when Biden was in office as president, did he do anything at all? You mentioned in gun control. What did Biden do?
Yeah, that he did. He tried to put all of that stuff into play also, where you had to, what he wanted people checked mentally and all kinds of stuff, and take courses and different things before you were even allowed to possess a firearm. He tried those things.
Yeah, but
tried under Biden. Yes, they were.
When he got elected in 2020, he had the House and Senate, if I'm correct. Why didn't he do it?
That's a good question. I don't know why he didn't do it. I really don't. But that should have been up on the forefront, because again, with all of the school pew-pewings and all kinds of stuff like that, that should have been at the top of any of their lists.
Yeah. The problem is
another mass shooting just happened the other day in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, I heard
2 days ago.
I heard about that. The problem is when you're talking about gun legislation and things like that. I mean, we had Joe Manchin and Christian Cinema, so you did have some Democrats in name only. But when you're talking about passing gun laws and putting restrictions on gun ownership, even a lot of liberals are not going to be down with that, Mr. Mobetta. You need to have AOCs.
I know, I get that. That. Because like I said, before there was ever two parties or 3 or 4, whatever parties, there was only black and white. So that stuff is an extension. That's an extension from the stuff that was already in place. Like, I'm a Democrat, but only to this line.
Yeah. Now when you mention
go that far.
When you mention mass casualty events, we'll just say it that way to not trigger the censors. But Cedric Hindy in the comments said most of those happened under Biden. So what is he saying? From 2024, there was more than it was from 2016 to 2020.
Listen, it might have been, but look at their motives. Look at the motives of those who were pew-pewing these places that went to the grocery store and unalive those people, that went to the church and praised God and everything before he did what he did, and it was all in the name of MAGA.
You're saying we've had some.
You can go look back at the video, the one up here in Buffalo, up here in New York, that had on his pew, he had the saying written right on his gun to kill N-words.
Wow, I did not know that. I've actually,
Yeah.
because he actually live streamed or whatever doing that. I actually saw the event. I did not know he had that on the side of the rifle though.
Yep. Well, see, and this is the thing. It ain't the deeds that's really judged; it's your motive that's judged.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff, timing really it doesn't it matters, but not as much as why they did it. So a lot of things, and that's to go back to even say with him pardoning Hoover. What is his motive? He's probably losing numbers when as far as it comes to black men and stuff like that, because a lot of black men were supporters of his, and then he has to keep those numbers up. So he figured,
Well,
let me
I'm
do
going to
this.
tell you something. Now you mentioned the suffix or better yet the prefix black men, but Trump ain't gonna lose no men. In terms of the male vote, he presents an alpha male image, and with the Democrats and liberals promoting the LGBTQ community and feminism and all of that
Exactly,
stuff.
because he demonized that community against them. He makes those men feel like that the LGBTQIA, whatever letters they use, is their problem. Is the problem in their households of them. So that's why they support him so much. And number two, they fall in love with his nerve. He
Well,
gives them
but
the
it ain't just
excuse
a.
anything, and what comes up comes out with him.
Yeah, but it's not just the LGBTQIA community. It's also the liberal support, the feminist community, and the feminist community sometimes demonize men themselves. So the men are going to go to Trump regardless. He's going to win the male vote under any circumstance.
And you know why they feel that way is because they feel like, oh, if these people rise above, then I'm gonna be decreased as a man. That's why they feel that way. And that takes a lot. That takes psychology to really figure that out. They don't want to lose their position as being a man, quote unquote, or whatever. So what's happening to all the men? Oh, this is how we living now. Oh, so what they did, they started lying and said that those people are going after children, which is not true.
Well,
It's
I'm
more
just simply saying I
that
think.
it's more problems happening with children from heterosexual family members than it is from the LGBTQIA community.
Yeah, I'm just
So
simply saying
again,
I think the liberals are going to have a hard time winning the male vote because of all of that stuff I mentioned. But real quick before we continue on, what is this? Says Easy Some says Tim is a magnet for crazy chicks. Bet his dating life was fire. I got folks saying that somebody else said I never heard. What does it say? All Democrats are angry women. You attract some of the most interesting comments there, Mr. Mobetta.
I do, and that's because in their heart of hearts, they want somebody like me.
Ooh,
See, they
ooh,
want somebody like me because I guess the women that they're used to are yes men.
ooh.
They're
Okay.
yes men. Who wants a empty-headed, non-verbal person? I feel sorry for them. And most of the women that even actually voted for Trump are bowing down to their husbands.
Bowing down. Wow.
Bowing down to their husbands. And that's not to say I wouldn't respect my man, because I would respect him too. However, who wants somebody who doesn't have an opinion? That's a straw man.
Well, as opposed to bowing down and not having an opinion, what about the traditional biblical view of a man and woman where they believe a man leads and a woman, pretty much follows behind the man?
The Bible that they claim is the reason. That's how they control people with kept slavery going for so long, because they use the Bible. But what they do is pick and choose what part of the Bible that they want to enhance or want to put forth or use as a fear tactic, a scare tactic. Oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell. Those are people who walk around holding snakes and shit in their hand. Shut the fuck up with that. Knock it off. First of all, and if they are those true Bible thumpers, we're no longer living in the Old Testament. We're in the New Testament. That's after the red words, when Jesus came and spoke. But we're not even gonna get into that, because that could take up your whole show. But those are the people. Did they know the Bible that they're reading, that the man that wrote it, King James, was a gay man? Do they know
Really?
that King James was a gay man?
No, I didn't know
I'll
that
wait.
either. I didn't know that
I'll
either.
wait.
Oh,
Yes, I'll wait. So let's knock it off. And like I said, when they're asked these questions, like even when Trump and them do things, if they don't be asking the right questions, they never call them out on things. What do you mean by XYZ? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'll admit Trump does have the benefit of his supporters. They don't really call him out or even demand evidence or anything of what he says. I will
They
give you
don't. They
that.
don't. Tim, you see, he even kicks out the media, the journalists that asks him questions that challenges his thoughts. He kicks them out, call them horrible people. Oh, you're a terrible journalist. Like, he has no respect. He don't even respect the craft. You know why? Because he has no skill. His only skill is his mouth. That's his gift and his curse.
But he is winning. Mr. Mobetta, I got to move it on. But regardless of...
You can call it what you want. He is winning. He's enriching his family. He's doing things. He doing everything he does is illegal. But again, you got your cronies in office. What you think is gonna happen?
Fair enough, and I kind of agree with that last part.
And one more thing before you go.
Go ahead.
Democratic women are not angry women. We're very passionate. We're very intelligent. We're sexy on top of that.
Ooh.
We got shit going on. Don't hate because yours ain't like that.
Ms. Mobetta, well said. Thank you for coming through. All right, continuing on. And she gets that every time. I think it's something about... I'm going to listen. This is a free speech program, so damn it, I'm gonna certainly say that free speech also entitles me to say what I want to say, and I will say that for some reason, anytime an African American woman is passionate, people call her angry. I don't. It ain't got nothing to do with being angry. I mean, I think we all have anger in our hearts to some degree when shit don't go our way politically. Just like the left, I mean, better yet, the right was angry how Biden was handling immigrants. Okay, there's nothing to be angry about on Trump at all. Yeah, there is. So I mean, she's entitled to her opinion just like you are. And then when you're on the program, I'll let you say whatever the hell you have to say as well. That's how we do it because we're uncensored here, for at least as far as the apps will take us. Tap the screen, by the way. Get the likes up to about 40,000. And we'll go ahead and continue on. Tap the screen. Good work. What it says, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Dina Clark, thank you for the support. Appreciate that. I think that says Chancellor. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I think discussion is very helpful and you're doing good. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chancellor, for your support. Biden couldn't even pronounce immigrant. L left my ass off. Well, Gen X, do I have to bring up Bigley? And I mean, you want to talk about Biden can't pronounce words. I mean, Trump thought Mattel, the toy maker, was a whole damn country. I'm not, look, I'm not going to discount what you said about Biden, but remember, the opposition is Trump. And it's not like Trump is always grammatically correct either. That guy tweets out a lot of shit with grammatical errors all over it. So you can criticize Biden. You may be accurate in your criticism. But remember, his competition is Trump, and Trump has all sorts of grammatical errors and misspellings and shit too. So I don't know if that's something that is something you want to bring up, because Trump is not good at that either, by the way. It says, also sorry if multi-live is the wrong button. I'm new to Clapper. No, I mean, you're doing good. I'll go to the next caller, by the way. We'll go to the one and only Chancellor himself. Good evening, Chancellor. If it brings you up, we'll try to bring him up. Otherwise, we'll go back to Instagram. I mean, back to TikTok. We're trying to use some of the other apps as well. Okay, Chancellor, are you there? Chancellor, are you there?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Good to have you on. So what brought you on tonight? What are we getting wrong over here?
Yeah. So I would disagree that. Whoa. Sorry. I would disagree that. Is it really choppy in my audio?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I would disagree that partnering or fighting with Trump would be a helpful thing to do.
So you too believe that we should the Democrats should just continue to resist and fight with Trump indefinitely?
So I don't think we should ever, and I would hold the standard for everyone, I don't think we should ever fight someone because they're the enemy. I wouldn't say hey, Trump is saying we should do this, so therefore we shouldn't ever do this. But I think the things that he is doing, or at least the things he's doing right now, we should continue to fight against because they're unconstitutional and are harming the American people. I don't think siding with him because he might be able to get it done anyway will lead us in a good solution. You wouldn't.
So what is Trump doing? Because I mean, his whole moniker is "Make America Great." So what is he doing that you believe that is detrimental to America? Because many believe he's doing a great job. I ask folks often to give Trump a letter grade like we got in high school, and people give him an A+ all the time. So what are you seeing differently?
Yeah, so I think the whole tariff situation hurt a lot of people. There were a lot of jobs that were lost. I personally have seen some companies that kind of are struggling now because they're starting up and they were relying on imports from China that they now just simply can't afford. I think that, like the 400, I don't know if you saw this, but he accepted a $400 million plane from Qatar.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't plan on keeping it, which he might, it's kind of weird.
He's going to keep the plane. He's absolutely going to keep that plane.
Yeah. And like his defense for that is, it's for America, but we're already paying Boeing to make new, I think it's Air Force One is the name.
Right.
And carries on the president.
Right.
This plane, to outfit it with everything it legally has to have, would cost more money than it is worth.
Well, in regards to what the cost of this plane is going to be, it's hard to say because the numbers are coming from everywhere, and the Trump administration is going to paint those numbers as being minimal, and the liberals are going to paint them as being sky high. So it's hard to say whether what you're saying is correct or incorrect. You're saying it's going to cost more money by temporarily using this plane from Qatar than just waiting on the new Air Force One that's coming out in a few years.
So I guess I should have been a little bit more specific. We already paid Boeing to make those planes. Even if we take this jet that we got, Boeing still has their money. We're not getting that back, and then it will cost certainly an amount of money to outfit it with everything it has to have. So no matter what, it's going to be costing us more money than if we just didn't accept this or didn't use this for the president's Air Force One jet.
Yeah, but here's the counter argument. The suggestion is that the current Air Force One is so old and beginning to degrade that it's costing a bunch of money. It's costing a bunch of money to keep the current Air Force One flight worthy. And if you were to bring the jet from Qatar in to replace it, you actually would save some money because it would be cheaper to deal with this jet because you don't have to keep replacing as much because it's not a couple decades old like this one is. So they're saying you would save money from that aspect.
So they're not wrong. It definitely would be really good to have a new one. The current one is old, but we paid Boeing a bit ago. Like, this is something we've already done. We did this before Qatar offered the plane. We paid Boeing to make a new one, so there are new ones being made.
Well, maybe when you're dealing with the likes of Trump, some would say he's a supreme negotiator. Perhaps he would make Boeing, he could lead Boeing to giving us some sort of discount because they're taking longer than they were supposed to take to create that plane. So let's say we decided to give Boeing, $10 billion for the plane or whatever the hell it might cost, and they're behind schedule on it. Trump, in his negotiation skills, might say, well, look, every day you're late, we want $1 million back or we want $1 million off. You don't think he can make that happen?
I think he absolutely could. Well, I'm nowhere near a lawyer. I wouldn't know if that's legal. But I think absolutely a deal could be negotiated to remedy the fact that it's late. But I think accepting this claim isn't going to help with that. It's kind of a security nightmare because it could be bugged, it could be hot-wired and stuff.
You don't feel confident that the Secret Service can make that plane safe for the president?
I think they can, but that process is going to cost money. It's going to be it's just like an unnecessary expense. We can focus on going and get them to actually deliver. We don't need to start over again with a new plane.
Fair enough. I'll agree to some degree. I'm not seeing it other than kind of what Sherbert is saying in the comments is that he wants a new shiny thing. I do believe it's that Air Force One, the current version of Air Force One is pretty damn old, and this new jet coming from Qatar has all the latest bells and whistles. And Trump, a man who loves luxury, is just seeing it as this is a hell of a lot better than what I'm flying, and why the hell can't I have it? I do believe that's kind of what's happening, but he's the president. Should he not have the best?
He should have the best, yeah. I just disagree that it necessarily has to come from. This is kind of an all argument, but he's very pro-America, Trump. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't we support American manufacturing by getting America to make the best and like help our economy that way?
Well, the jet, even though it's owned by Qatar, was originally created by Boeing. And once we bring it here, you're going to have Americans that are the ones that are going to retrofit it to make it safe for him to fly on. So he is supporting American labor. In fact, chances are this is going to create a few American jobs to get this jet flight worthy.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it like being more right here in America, but that makes way more sense than anything else here, right?
All right. So can I get your address to see you at Trump at? Sound like you're on a Trump train now.
So no. I do agree that I could have been wrong with the plane thing. I'll own up to that. I was not very informed there, but he is still doing things that I'm disagreeing with. He's deporting American citizens illegally. He's denying due process. Like, these are serious things. He's denying court orders.
Okay, when you say he's deporting them,
allowed to do it.
When you say he's deporting Americans without due process, how do you respond to the pushback that, look, Biden let so many damn people in this country, we don't have time to give each one of these people a court case because Biden didn't give them all court cases to let them in. So to expedite getting rid of all of this stuff, and in fact, we just lost another life today. Two illegal immigrants took part in taking out somebody that was on a jet ski or something like that. So yet you've had another American that lost their lives to a illegal immigrant. So how do you respond to folks who might say that, look, you want to give folks due process, but first of all, you're not a citizen of this country. You entered illegally. You didn't get a court case to come in. You don't deserve one to go out. How do you respond to that crowd?
Yeah. Okay. Due process is a fundamental right given to everyone on American soil. It's in the Constitution. Supreme Court has upheld this a bunch of times throughout history. The 14th Amendment specifically says all persons, not citizens. And if you did take affection of people, like undocumented immigrants, and say, hey, these people don't get due process, that could be used against American citizens because without ever giving everyone due process, if they picked an American citizen and classified them as part of the other group, then there'd be no process for you. If they pick you, for example, to prove that you are a citizen because that would be due process.
I mean, that's fair. Well, closing question before I'm moving on from you. Taking away the notion that he's not giving folks due process, if it wasn't for that argument, taking that out the picture, how do you think Trump is doing in securing our nation's border?
So I think I don't think he's doing that well or that much better than Biden was.
Really?
He's in terms of fentanyl. In terms of the fentanyl he's intercepted, it's a little bit less than Biden was averaging. I should admit, I think he's doing. He's definitely doing a bit more, but I don't think it's enough to. I don't think it's enough to join him necessarily.
You're not. Are you aware that they're suggesting that border crossings, border interactions are down over 90%? So when you point out that they're not seizing as much fentanyl under Trump as they were under Biden, because the humans that carry it are not there anymore. I mean, the level of fentanyl should drop. If you're stopping the people from getting in, they're the ones that would transport it. They're talking about 90% reduction at the border. You don't see any uptake in that from Trump? You don't give him credit for that?
Well, so with that, if they're intercepting people, they'd still, if they were like severely dropping illegal immigration, they would still be like reporting that. Like if you take drugs at the border, I could be wrong about this. I'll Google this in fact. But I would assume if you stop someone and they're like smuggling drugs, you would still count that, right?
Yeah, I would assume. Did I lose you?
So if they were, sorry.
Okay, I don't know if I lost Chancellor or not, but I'll go ahead and move it on. Apparently, something happened there. By the way, tap the screen, get the likes up on TikTok. Get us up to 40,000. We'll take the next caller at that. Real quick, looking in the comments, talking about should we join Trump? As you heard him state earlier, I'm gonna give you a couple of clips because we've had a few callers come in or viewers come in, but I mean, he's asked some questions that are, I mean, he's made some statements in regards. This is the old one from when he was running against Hillary Clinton, and I guess it would still apply to some degree, or it would at least be conversation worthy even now in 2025. This
No
is
group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Is it really that bad in the black community? Wow. I mean, that's a laundry list of shit. Let me hear that again.
Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Now, that's Trump in 2016. That's Trump in 2016. So the obvious question or statement to make is after we've had him in office now for a full term and going on 5 months into his second term, has those issues in the black community improved at all? Because we had a whole term of Trump. Even if you wanted to take Biden out the picture, let's say that statement that Trump gave about how the black community is all dilapidated, that would have been in 2015 or 2016 that he said that about against Hillary Clinton. Skip up to 2020 after Trump has served a whole term. Did those issues get addressed? Were those issues improved upon during Trump's term? I'm going to tell you flat out, in my opinion, I didn't hear him bragging about after 4 years in office that the schools were better and the kids had jobs. I mean, all of the stuff he complained about, he did not leave office bragging that he made that stuff better. So I'll leave it at that. But one thing he did say that is resonating even right now in 2025.
Win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to win some. We're going to win.
And he is winning. I don't think there's any denial he's winning, whether you like it or not. And AJ, black people make it seem so. You think so, AJ? Good to see you in the YouTube horizontal there. I don't know. You think black? I don't know. Black people don't seem to like Trump, and I want to know why. I'll talk to some. We can get somebody that we certainly would discuss that. But we're asking that question: Democrats, should Democrats as a whole, considering that they're constantly losing to President Trump, look at what is the phrase? If you can't beat them, join them. Should the Democrats just simply unite behind President Trump? That way, the country comes together as opposed to fighting this man indefinitely in what appears to be a ever losing battle for the Democrats. Going back to the box, black people are not ready. Conned. Is that what that says that somebody has in the comments? Freedom Fighter says black people are not easily conned. Okay, I didn't read that right. All right. Yeah, he's winning $3 billion in his pocket so far. We're all losing. Damn. Democrats and Republicans are not for blacks, only God. Huh, interesting. All right, continuing on, we'll go straight to the box. The one and only Gen X. Fuck around and find out. Good evening, Gen X.
What's going on, Tim? How you doing tonight, brother?
What do I always say? Just hanging around like Jesse Jackson at a Klan meeting. So what's going on?
Hey, man, I would normally say, yeah, let's welcome the Democrats with open arms. But if you're bringing gangster grandma, we don't want you. we don't want you, man.
Gangster grandma.
Bro, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you live it. My God, brother, good Lord.
She's passionate. She has passion in her opinion.
There's a thin line between passion and idiocy.
It says a party that supports Marjorie Taylor Greene.
I don't like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Your party does.
Well, that's my part. That's not my party. It's a party I support.
Okay.
My party is my party. I do my own thing.
Okay.
I don't agree with everything Trump says or does, but I agree a lot less with what the other side does.
Okay. And I'm the same way. I don't agree with everything Gangsta Grandma says, but I probably agree with more what she says many times than not. But it is. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think we all agree or disagree with each other 100% of the time. But she's passionate.
Now, Miss Mo Better, you can bring her on. Bring her on over. I'll have her making a sandwich sooner than later.
What is up with you and these sandwiches? You do believe in the patriarchy, right? I mean, you do believe in the hierarchy, man, woman, child, correct?
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, because that's just kind of how God intended it. That's how it's been for centuries and centuries.
And has that been
man, woman, child? And the way Western civilization was set up, that's how we set our civilization up, our social hierarchy, and it worked for a lot of years. And up until the 80s or 90s, well, 70s or 80s, it was still good. Up until the 90s, when that dissolved, especially among the black community, things went to shit.
Yeah, but how do you respond to folks? How do you respond to folks who might say that it wasn't that good for the women? It was great for men because they were making all the decisions. They had all the power and control, but the women just had to tag along whether they liked it or not.
Very easy. Woman, then you got the wrong man. If you're being made to feel like you're inferior, because I'm not saying women are inferior, because they are not. Because in a real Western chauvinist home, where we venerate the housewife, the woman kind of has the last word. If my woman tells me, babe, I'm going to, motherfucker, there's going to be this and that going on, you ain't going. I'm not going to listen to 3 weeks of bitching. She's going to eventually, inevitably win the argument. And you know what? I'll concede and say she was right.
Yeah, but Gen X, just for the studio audience at home who has not heard some of our previous conversations, I am correct in stating that you believe that America would be better off if women didn't have the right to vote, correct?
Yeah.
And why is that? But why is that? You're saying that women had some power, but why do you think that's the case?
Because we've been over this, Tim. Women vote based on emotion. They reason based on emotion. And you've agreed with me about this. Men...
I have?
Reason based... Yeah, you certainly
have. No. Keep going. Go ahead. Let me hear what you're saying.
Women reason based on emotion. Men, most men, not liberals, those aren't men. Most men, and not all, I won't paint a broad picture with that brush. Most conservative men reason based on facts, based on objective data.
And I'm taking it you didn't hear anything about January 6th. You think that those men were acting based on facts?
There was a lot of shit that went on January 6th that we're still not aware of. That's still going to get washed out.
So
And,
if you're not if you're not aware of what happened, then you're clearly not here based on facts. You believe something may come up later on to prove what you did was right, but you obviously don't have it. If you're here and you're talking about something's going to come out in the future, you think those people were acting based on factual information that they're 100% certain?
Well, now here's what I'll say in response to that. The reaction of the J6 crowd, I think in many ways was inappropriate by a lot of people. Mm-hmm. I think people did the wrong thing for the right reason, not based on objective facts that were proven at the time. They went on somebody's word. I don't agree with that. You got to show me in some way, shape, or form that it's objectively factual for me to risk my life, limb, my freedom, this and that. I understand why they did what they did. I get that. And I 100% support it. I wouldn't do that because I just...
So then you understand... Hold on.
Show me type of person.
So then you understand the summer of love over George Floyd and Black Lives Matter too then as well, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%.
All right. Want to make sure you're consistent.
An Italian guy that got choked out by the cops, motherfucker, I'd be throwing bricks through windows, burning shit, wanting to fight the police. Fuck yeah, dude, 100%.
All right,
I understand the rage. I understand the confusion with law enforcement. I understand the feeling of helplessness. And I would 100%.
All right, you're consistent. I'll give you that because I'll tell you this, you are consistent, but most MAGA are not consistent on that issue. They look at BLM as if they're a terrorist outfit and they don't understand it, but they support what happened on January 6th. At least you are consistent on both incidents.
I'd say that's just the logical way to be, personally, bro.
Well, I'm just simply saying if Ashley Babbitt was Queen Latifah and she was breaking in City Hall over police misconduct, a lot of folks would be totally okay with her getting shot.
If it was Queen Latifah crawling through that window and a white dude shot her in the neck from behind, I would back Queen Latifah. I actually kind of like Queen Latifah. That's one big sexy woman, baby.
I think you got a thing for the brown sugar here in Utah.
I would back her just as tough, bro. I really would.
All right, fair enough. So, in regards to the topic of discussion, I'm going to assume you probably agree that the Democrats should unite behind Trump.
If you don't bring gangsta grandma, yeah, man. I think no. I don't. Here's the thing. I don't think they should unite behind Trump. I don't think that's a good solution. What I think is they should maybe be a little less critical and maybe give him more of an opportunity over not what he said. Well, he said he'd end the war in 21. Yeah, he's an idiot. He says stupid shit. I get that. Give him a chance over a year, 18 months, and see what the man does.
Okay. And that's somewhat fair, but then I gotta push back and ask you because you said, he said stupid shit, but give him a chance over. What should the Democrats do in regards to the fact that he does say so much stupid shit? Keep in mind, even if the Democrats unite with him, he's still going to be attacking Biden. He's still going to be attacking AOC. He's still going to be attacking well-known liberals. Do you unite with somebody that is constantly talking about you like you're a piece of shit over and over again?
Absolutely, but call him out on it.
How do you do
Absolutely.
that?
Because I don't have the answer to that, Tim. What I do know is that we all have the right, freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and we have a God-given constitutional right to protest our government. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with that.
But how can you unite behind Trump and with MAGA if you're calling Trump out on stuff? I can't even keep MAGA viewers because I criticize Trump when I don't think he does things right. MAGA don't want to unite with any damn body that criticizes Trump. You should ignore or turn a blind eye to everything Trump does and only point out the good shit, or you're not patriotic and you hate the damn country, therefore you should leave. That's kind of the MAGA way. So how do you unite with Trump and simultaneously call him out? They're not. Even Trump himself will not let you do that.
You're going to have opposition, absolutely. But again, if it's a true unification, then there's no such thing as agreeing upon everything. We're not going to do it. That's not the American way. We're going to disagree on shit. What we need to do is figure out how to disagree on different perspectives respectfully while still focusing on the common goals that we all have.
Yeah, but
because I think we've got, you and I have a lot of common goals.
Okay.
And I believe that. I think we have a lot of different perspectives, you and I. But I think the end game, you want healthy children, you want a good job, you want a good, decent government that doesn't drag its ass or steal from you or protects you, shit like that. And I want the same shit. Now, what's the shit we disagree on? Trannies, gay rights, abortion, shit like that. Now, there's some of that I'm willing to talk about. I'm willing to have a conversation.
I think we actually disagree on the list of the first shit you talked about in regards to our kids and things like that. I think even when it comes to wanting our kids to have a safe environment or whatever, we have a totally different opinion. Like the right is okay with making sure kids are not hearing about LGBTQ stuff and CRT and stuff in schools, but they want them to hear about the Bible. To me, I'm the exact opposite of that. I don't believe forcing religion on impressionable kids is a good idea. So even when it comes to the safety of our children, we don't agree.
I think to passively teach the Bible in schools is not a bad idea. To force them to Sunday school, force them to communion, force them to do this, that I don't agree with. But to passively have a solid ideology that throughout human history has promoted good human behavior, I don't think that's a bad thing. And I'll use this again, and I've used it in the past. There have been very, very, very few school shootings in Christian universities. There's been a few, there's been a couple, but not nearly as many as there's been in public schools.
Well, it depends on if you want to talk about
shootings and shit like that, because kids with that moral foundation, they've actually got to believe that, hey, if I go out and take out this one and that one, I'm going to pay a pretty harsh price ultimately.
You don't.
And I think that's a wrong view.
You don't believe what you just said. If you believe that, then you're ignoring a whole lot of things that good Christians are known for doing. Now you're right. There's not a lot of school shootings in Christian schools, but they are shooting something else up their anal cavity, bodily fluids. That happens to a lot of kids in Christian schools. So they are getting shot. It's just not with a projectile. It's with a whole bunch of bodily fluid. So when you talk about good behavior, the amount of children that have been abused in Christian and Catholic schools, do you chalk that up as good behavior? Because the priests seem to think it's okay.
Now, the numbers you've used in the past are accurate. There's a lot more heterosexual Roman Catholic priests that do that shit. However, there's a lot more than there are in the trans community because there's so many more heterosexual males than there are trannies. Now, if you take the number and you do it per capita, it's a whole different fucking ballgame, Tim.
I have never heard of a.
It's pretty close.
Okay. Let's first make it clear they're called transgender. I have not heard of any member of the transgender community sexually abusing kids. I have not, even per capita, like you're trying to. It is incredibly rare. You watch Chris Hansen or some of these shows where they're actually talking about pedos and all of this stuff, or you go to Walmart. These are straight dudes. These aren't transgender people. Most of the people that are abusing kids are straight heterosexual Americans. Your teacher is abusing a high school senior or something. I mean, it's all of that shit. Most of the abusers of children are straight people. I don't even think per capita you have an argument on that.
Here's the problem, Tim. Humans, which we all are, humans need something to believe in beyond themselves. It's a sad fact. Not everybody, I won't say 100%, but most of us need something else to believe in. If we don't instill something positive, like a religious or biblical belief that, again, through hundreds and hundreds of years has proven to establish positive, God-fearing, productive communities, you leave the book open.
Why do you say Why do you say it's positive God-fearing communities? And I just talked about the pedo thing. I haven't gotten to the fact that religion is the source of more wars and killing than anything else. I mean, you're talking about land grabs and oppression and slavery. All of that stuff is done from religion, oppression of women and all of that. Why do you think it promotes good behavior when religion is often used to control and mistreat people?
Because the fundamentals of religion, excluding Islam, promote good behavior.
Excluding Islam, but yet the
Excluding
Christians are, you're saying excluding Islam, but yet when you talk about traveling around the world, exploiting people, taking their land and abusing them, Christians have done far more of that than Islamics.
Yeah, they have. You're absolutely right. They 100% have. But I'll counter that with nowhere in the Bible is that supported. In the New Testament, after the birth of Jesus Christ, nowhere in the New Testament, in the Bible, is that supported. Nowhere.
Don't they have a
Whereas
name?
Islam supports that. They support any, the Hadith. The Hadith says if you don't, to go ahead, and the doctrine of deception says to go ahead and conform, and when you outnumber them, take them over. There's three things they want. They want slavery, they want conformity, or they kill the infidel. It's in the Islam. It's in the Quran.
I don't know, but also in the Bible it talks about it being okay to beat a slave. That's in the Bible.
Not in the New Testament. Show me anywhere in the New Testament where it says it's okay to beat a slave. And Tim, I will fly out to Chicago, take you out for any meal you want, wash your feet like Jesus, and buy you my mom's suit.
So what is it? Only in the Old Testament?
Yeah,
So
it is.
So is the Old
I
Testament?
kind of got a little thing with the Old Testament for years, Tim. My thing was this: organized religion has caused every major conflict, world conflict to date, every one of them. And then I kind of looked into the Word of God and Jesus, and I don't want to get too biblical, but the New Testament doesn't say anything about that. Christ was a different breed of human being. Now, maybe he was the Son of God, maybe he wasn't. What I do know is he was a good man, a very good man, and somebody that was worthy of respect and following. I think the guy was a real good guy, and if his testament is something that I need to have faith in, I can find myself having faith in that without any guilt.
Yeah.
The Old Testament, I'm not into stoning the wife or stone. Although if she cheats on you, fuck it, grab a rock and brain her. If she'll make you a sandwich, same rock.
Gen X, you never disappoint. I will just close by saying this. When you look around the planet, most of the calmest, freest countries on this planet are far less religious than the ones that are oppressive. The more religion you put into a country, the more rules, the more judgment, the more oppression you normally find. Most of the countries that you're really free to do what you want and have the lowest crime rate, they're not very religious at all. They let the people do what they want.
I want Miss Mo better to write John 3:16 on a sandwich. She says no sandwich. If I get one, that's what I want on it. Hey Tim, I build computers, right? Have I told you that?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
All right. Check these out, brother. I just built that one.
Hang on a second. Let me see
That's
it.
my newest gaming PC. Can you see it?
Okay, now I can. Yeah.
And that's the other one. I build computers. I build gaming PCs. That's kind of what I do.
Okay.
Now that I'm retired medically, I still find a way to be productive. I kind of wanted to show you that. I've never shown you those before.
Appreciate it.
I would have said I was broke. I'd have half a mind to put 20K on the table with a whole bunch of gold, but I'm not going to do that. I ain't got.
You do some shit like that. You've made your point. You do some shit like that, but appreciate you coming through as always, Gen X. Thank you.
All right, brother. I'll talk to you soon, man. You have a great week, brother.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. By the way, folks, tap the screen and get your boy on up to We're trying to get to 50,000. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Show the program some love. Tap the screen. Men, what it says, men gave women freedom. Really? So who took it away? Daniel Hearn in the comments says men gave women freedom. So who took the freedom away from them? So you gave them back what they should never have taken, sounding like what you're saying there. Looking in the comments, I got that says God bless you, says one viewer on Clapper. Crimson THC says God bless you, but then follows up by saying fuck off. I don't know what see this we talking about Christianity. That's what you call that on again, off again Christianity, I guess you call that. Anyway, before I go to the next caller, tap the screen, get the likes up. A hard drive in a toaster oven. Debo, I don't know what you're talking about there. You talking about my last caller there? Real quick before we continue on, we're talking about should the Democrats, as you see on the monitor behind me, simply put, should they join Trump? You hear folks say it all the time. If you can't beat them, join them. Democrats are losing over and over again to President Trump, and it doesn't seem like that's going to change. Even when Trump does things that might be considered illegal, might be considered unconstitutional, like the jet from Qatar, due process, birthright citizenship, you name it, he's still getting stuff through. So the question is, should the Democrats just simply join behind Trump because it does not look like they're ever going to beat him? And if you don't join behind them, then you just simply have an indefinite battle going on against an opponent that you're never going to beat. Or as he says,
We're going to win so much, you may even get tired of winning. And you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more. We're going to.
and some of his words have aged poorly. That ain't one of them. That is not one of them. He is winning a lot. That is not one of his phrases that is aged poorly. But you heard me playing earlier one that I do believe has aged poorly. This one is aged poorly.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
Now, that's one where I wish, just like you're going to get tired of winning, I wish that had have aged better. I wish he could go back and play this and show how much that stuff has improved since he's been in office a full term and now almost 5 months of a second term. It hasn't, though. The 58% unemployment of youth he's talking about the schools. And none of that stuff has improved. And we had a full term of him already. And we could take Biden completely out of the picture. We could go back this time 4 years ago, right after Trump completed his whole term. And he didn't fix that stuff. He didn't really address it. It didn't get much better at all under his first term. So he does go around oftentimes talking about, he's done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. I'm not one to submit to that, certainly because of this laundry list of stuff he just said here that he did not address after 4 years in office. So I don't know why he would say that, but you hear what he's saying there. Looking in the comments, are we in denial? Get out of that river, says Kenza. You ought to request to come up, Kenza. We bring you up. Let me go to the box. We'll continue on one of my subs there. Let's say 5+2. Good evening. Welcome to the program. Joining Trump. Should the Democrats consider joining President Trump if the box brings this caller up? Otherwise, it looks like it may reset. There we go. Are you there?
Yeah, hello,
Yeah.
how are you?
What is the name there? What does it say? 5+2 or something?
Yep.
Okay. All right. 5+2. We'll go with that. So, what do you think? Should the Democrats, considering how much they continue to lose going up against a juggernaut like Trump, should they just unite with him?
I mean, this country uh, would benefit if we would be more bipartisan and agree with each other on things.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of wanted to talk about the black community a little bit.
Okay, but before you do, is your answer yes or no to that question?
In some ways, yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like the liberals, they just want chaos.
Examples?
It's like the LBGT, the abortion, all the things that liberals are kind of backing. Besides, like the equity and inclusion stuff. To me, it's chaotic.
Okay, you believe women wanting the right to choose is promoting chaos?
Yeah.
Explain.
I mean, the whole thing about it is the birth rates, especially in the white community or whatever, is going down, and it could be linked to abortion.
Yeah, but it's not a woman that is deciding whether or not to make that choice. It's not her job to promote the birth rates. That's not what she is making a decision for her and her family. She's not there to try to entertain what the birth rates are doing.
Well, if the state had more control over whether or not that was an option, then she wouldn't even, be able to take that opportunity to lower the birth rate. So, I mean, as a country and as a state, you got to do what's best for the country.
So if she becomes pregnant and she does not want to carry that baby, you should force her to, because it helps the birth rates and it's actually what's in the best interest of the country to make her do what you think is in the best interest.
I mean, it shouldn't be an option because it's murder. I mean, it's not even ethical. It's not moral. I don't even see why they created that system to even be a choice.
So let me ask it to you this way. Let's say, for instance, a woman is wanting to terminate the life of her child, and it's, as you say, the option doesn't exist. They've gotten rid of, pro-life is the way, and she does this on her own through using some type of inserted device or taking a cocktail of drugs she made up. Do you believe she should do time? Because you said it's murder.
Yeah, I think it's criminal. I mean, if she is trying to harm another human being that's not able to protect itself or doesn't have any protection under autonomy, under its own autonomy, yeah, I think that's a crime. If you hurt a child after it's born, then it's a crime.
Okay, so you would send a joke. Okay, so you wanted to, in fair enough. Fair enough. You and I disagree on this, but certainly, I'm certainly glad to have you here. What was your what did you said you wanted to talk about something in regards to the black community? What was the point you were trying to make?
Okay, it's like we could say that Trump didn't help the black community, but nobody helped the black community.
But he's saying he did, though. He is saying he did more than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. He's saying he did.
I don't agree with everything Trump. I'm not really like a Trumper like that.
So is it so you saying so you do agree that he's lying then?
Yeah, I agree that I mean, but look, in a way, everything that these conservative neo-Nazis is voting on, it's really hurting them. It's not really hurting black people. It's really hurting them.
Give me an example.
Like the whole okay, like they wanna this big beautiful bill thing.
Okay.
They wanna getting food stamps and Section 8 and all this stuff.
Right.
Most of the people on Section 8 and food stamps is white.
True. That is true.
And black people really don't really depend on the government like that, like those farmers that's getting all those subsidies and stuff. That's welfare. Black people, black farmers is not out there picketing and rioting because they're not getting subsidies.
So, wow. Okay, this conversation is this is fascinating because when we went to the pro-life stuff, I kind of now am I correct in you're conservative, right?
Yeah, I'm conservative. Yeah.
But you do believe a lot of conservatives that are supporting Trump via the big beautiful bill are actually voting against their own best interests.
Yeah, the white neo-Nazis, yeah, that's voting against all the policies they think is gonna benefit black people. It's like, okay, you get a free lunch. And because black people getting a free lunch too, I'm gonna vote against it.
So the neo-Nazis you speak of, which party has these folks in it?
It's a lot of MAGA. It's a lot of MAGA people that's they being emboldened by Trump's anti-ethnic rhetoric.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Trump.
So you voted with the same side as the anti-minority rhetoric neo-Nazis. You voted with them. You were in the same group as them. You guys both saw the same candidate as best for America.
Well, you got a lot in common with a lot of people. You just don't realize.
Not them people. Not them people. Explain what you have in common with neo-Nazis.
I mean, a lot of people is Christian. I'm a Christian. You know.
Well, Adolf in 1930s Germany, he was a Christian too. You are aware of that, right?
That's debatable.
No, he was Christian. He actually was Christian.
No, if he was Christian, he wouldn't have been trying to kill,
Well, you can say the same thing about America, what we did to the Native Americans. If we were Christian, we wouldn't have did that to them. We did some of the same stuff, or the stuff they did to your ancestors.
It's debatable whether those people was Christian too.
It's debatable whether the country is Christian when you look at what we're doing even right now.
Well, this country is not leaning towards Christian values, I'll tell you that.
Okay, fair enough. So what did you see in Trump, even though you're admitting the neo-Nazis favor him as well also, but what did you see in Trump that made you think or you see him as a better candidate than the opposition?
He was a better candidate because we already had a term with Trump. Kamala was untested, and she was basically focused on some things that we already got. You want to focus on women, right? And women already had a right to do everything a man got the right to do. You want to focus on abortions and stuff. I don't agree with that. The LBGT, I don't agree with that. So Kamala, her whole campaign was just not really hitting nothing for me. It wasn't really nothing I wanted to agree with.
Fair enough.
That was her.
You're probably one of the most fascinating callers I've had because, I mean, I do get black MAGA and black Trump supporters and black conservatives occasionally, and I enjoy talking to all of them, but you're the first I've ever heard that supports Trump and actually acknowledges that the party has the white Christian national, or the, what do you call them, neo-Nazis. Most folks that lean right that are African American deny that these folks are of any, of any amount to anything within MAGA or within the Trump supporter side. You're admitting they're there. So if you go to a rally and those folks show up as well, what do you do?
I don't go to rallies. I'm not that political. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I just chose the lesser of two evils, or and I believe that Trump didn't really show his hand what he was trying to do, especially with Elon Musk. when he was running. But now that he's in office, we kind of see what it's about. But I believe in God, and I believe that everything that they're trying to do to all these other people is backfiring. And
Wait a minute.
it's
You
affecting.
said he didn't really show his hand when he was running with Elon Musk. Now he's in office. What have you seen from him? What is his hand saying that you didn't see when he was campaigning to get your vote?
Well, it's basically about the price of eggs going down, and
He campaigned on that.
stuff. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The campaign.
What you said, but you also
like,
say he did not show his hand. What did he not show you that you're seeing now?
okay, the things that I'm seeing now that it's like the whole. Okay, he was talking about tariffs. Okay, and he was talking about the border. He was talking about he was talking about a lot of things. I kind of forget about it, but the eggs and all of that, right? But now that he's in office, it's kind of like we're seeing like the budget cuts. We're seeing a lot of stuff that Elon is doing with this bringing the South Africans over and all this other stuff. Taking the curriculum, the curriculum out of school, teaching Black history and all this type of stuff. This isn't what I signed up for, but I see that everything that he's trying to do, like, is backfiring on the people who voting against, other people. They basically voting against themselves, against their own interests to try to hurt other people.
Mm. So let me ask it to you this way: if you could do it again, knowing what you know now, would you vote the same?
Yeah, I'll still vote for him.
Oh, okay. That's a question I often like to ask folks, particularly African Americans. Now, like I said, you point out a lot of flaws and cracks in the Trump administration that most African Americans that support him do not. They paint a far rosier picture than you do. You're admitting a lot of flaws. He's winning directions you didn't expect. He's doing things you didn't like or you don't like. They don't normally talk like that. So let me ask it to you this way. In regards to, I often ask this question, like the letter grade, like you get in high school, A, B, C, D, or F, you would get on the test. After seeing 5 months of Trump almost, what letter grade would you give him?
You get a strong C plus.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's average. It's passing. I mean, it's some stuff he's trying to do. That's if it succeeds, then it'll be great for the country.
Before I let you go, give me 3 things when you voted for him, 3 things that you really wanted him to do.
Basically, I wanted him to stop the momentum of this wokeness, this LBGT stuff in school, which I think he probably did.
Okay.
Because I got kids, and I don't like that. I wanted to see him stop the momentum of all this abortion talk.
So would you support a federal abortion ban across the land? Because you believe it's murder. Would you support all 50 states outlawing this?
Yeah, sure, definitely.
All right, give me the third one.
The third one is maybe some of the border control stuff, because it's ridiculous. The Mexicans wasn't the only ones coming over the Mexican border. And they was right. A lot of those people are criminals, the cartel and all this type of stuff. And it's affecting our communities first. All the drugs and stuff.
Wow. So LGBTQ away from children, pro-choice away from women, and securing the border. Do you reside anywhere near the border, or do you have a huge influx of illegal immigrants in your area?
Well, around my area, it's a lot of immigrants. It's a lot of illegal immigrants. And in my industry, construction,
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
illegal immigrants.
I think you need to talk to your employer because they're not forcing them. They're not forcing their way in. Your employer don't want to pay you, and they're hiring them. So you want to get rid of the immigrants. You need to. Your employers need to be addressed. I do got to move it on. No 5+2. Very fascinating call, man. Look, come on back through anytime. We don't have to agree on everything, which we did not. But I really enjoyed talking to you. My door's always open to you, man.
All right, man. God bless, man. Have a good one.
Same. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on with the program. And by the way, that was a very interesting call. You don't normally get that. You don't normally get that. I enjoy those type of conversations where, okay, he was, in my opinion, fairly candid because you don't normally get MAGA or Trump supporters to point out that many flaws, up to and including blatant racism. I mean, he's talking neo-Nazis and shit. You don't normally get that. Normally, you get heavy denials in that area. So, which is kind of a tad bit shocking. I'm like, you saw a lot in common with the same candidate that the neo-Nazis did. So you guys could likely show up to rallies together, but he did say he doesn't go to rallies. Very, very interesting call. Seen the comment, Miss Bobetta said slow. No, he answered the questions. You might not like his answers, but he was thorough in his answers. Neo-Nazis are a minority unless you are in the penitentiary. Get real. I don't buy that, Kenson. I don't. In regards to whether neo-Nazis are a minority or not, so are the transgender community. And you care a lot about that. I tell you this, there's probably a hell of a lot more folks that are neo-Nazis in this country than there are transgender. And that obviously played a big role in the election. So you can keep the minority stuff. Being a minority still makes a difference if the minority community is doing what is perceived as a lot of damage. You believe the transgender community is doing damage potentially to children. Well, folks believe the neo-Nazi community is doing damage to minorities. So you're not going to get a pass on it because they're a minority. But, one question I would have asked him is, Trump often I want to say cater, tries to address some of his voters and things like that. I wanted to ask, when it comes to addressing his voters, trying to adhere to the wishes of his supporters, which one is he more likely to address? The minorities like himself or these neo-Nazis he's talking about? I wish I could ask that. Anyway, continuing on though, those numbers are probably close in 2025. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't think the transgender community is anywhere near as numerous as the neo-Nazi community is. I just don't. And I'll tell you one thing, the transgender community, at least they're doing their shit out in the open. The neo-Nazis are running around with masks and things like. You think about some of these towns where you see them walking around with the Third Reich flag and all of that shit. It's 40, 50 of them getting out of a U-Haul truck. That town ain't probably got 50 transgender people in it. I mean, no, it's more of them. By far, it's more of them than it is transgender. But let me continue on. Tap the screen, folks. Give me on up to 55,000. Certainly show the program some love. You will never stop. You will never stop abortions. I don't disagree with that. Who typed that in there? Somebody says you will never stop abortions. Lunar, no, you won't. I agree with that 100%. Just like you won't stop weed, you won't stop coke, you won't stop heroin. All you're doing is running it underground. That's all you're doing. You're just turning something that would normally be performed safely into a black market activity where people can be harmed more greatly. I'll give you an example, like with marijuana slowly but surely becoming legal all over the country. Marijuana products and things like that. You can go and purchase it from a dispensary or wherever you're getting your product from, and it's safe. As opposed to having to go get it from some dude in the back of an alley, hoping he don't rob you, and he's hoping you don't rob him. So, but people gonna smoke anyway. The Willie Nelsons, the Snoop Dogg's, they were smoking long before there was even any thought of making it legal federally. So they're gonna do it. And the same thing applies to a woman exercising her right to choose. If she don't want to carry that child, I never could understand why people think that it's a good idea to try to force somebody to be a parent when they're telling you they don't want to. I don't even think it's a good idea to do it to fathers. If a person is telling you they don't want to be a parent, it's probably a good idea not to try to force it. I don't know if you're really helping that kid out or not by doing that. I just have that type of view that this person don't told you ahead of time they don't want to do this. What you expect, mother or father of the year when the kid is actually born? They told you ahead of time they didn't want to do it. Real quick, getting back to the comments though. Somebody say Supreme Leader Trump. Wow. Reagan said he couldn't help but notice that everybody was pro-abortion, had the benefit of being born. Yeah, and another thing I would add is, these folks that are saying they're pro-life, but they're against every form of assistance you would give to that child once the kid is born. You're pro-birth. All you want to do is make sure the kid is born. Once the kid is born, you're kind of at a don't ask me for shit stance. That's not. I don't see that any better than the mom that was trying to terminate it. I don't want the kid to have free lunch, or I don't want if the mom don't work, I don't think she should be to get food stamps. You're no better than her trying to make that decision. I mean, if the mom don't work, you want to punish the little child because you don't like the fact that the mom ain't working. Well, I don't want to give her food stamps, or I don't want to, you ain't no better than him. So I never could get into that. I never could understand that. You call yourself pro-life, but you don't do anything for the kid once the kid is born. Looking in the comments here before we move on. Were you at January 6th? Oh, you guys are talking amongst each other in the comments. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything here. Apparently, I missed a lot on YouTube here. They don't care if the child has they don't care if the child has daycare. They don't care if the child has free lunch in schools. They don't care if the child has medical care. They don't care if the child has any of that shit. They just want the mom to give birth to the child. Once the child is born, it's literally don't ask me for shit. That ain't pro-life to me. That's just my stance on it. Anyhow, continuing on, we'll go straight to Denkow. Good evening. Welcome to the program, Denkow. They want that placenta. What are they going to do with the placenta? Is that what does that mean? Explain that. Why would they want the placenta? Denkow, good evening.
I think they use the placenta for research. I think that's what she might be talking about, but I'm not sure.
I would sure like to know. Wow. Okay, so we talking about joining Trump. Surely you're down with that, right?
Okay, well, first I want to give you props. I want to give your props, since your boy Trump looked out for you and your Chicagoland people. You know what I'm saying? Free Larry Hoover.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So he pardoned one of the most detrimental people in the history of young black youth. You know what I'm saying?
I'm wondering what the hell is behind that. How did that happen?
Kanye West. Remember, Kanye West asked him the first term asked him to release Larry Hoover. I think he asked him in the White House when Trump was. I mean, when Kanye was at the White House acting a donkey. Remember, he was in there hugging him and running around the Oval Office.
No, I didn't know that. No, what was Larry Hoover? I mean, he's obviously a well-established gangster, but what was he all convicted of? I'd be curious to know.
I have no idea, but it had to be everything from racketeering to murder.
RICO acts and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm fascinated by this.
He was a part of he was a part of the culture that started, or he didn't start gang culture, but he elevated it. He elevated it into the homes of people where it had never been before.
But does that sound like something a racist would do, pardoning Larry Hoover?
Yes. I mean, look, when you got that kind of power, man, you got to mix it up. You can't just do everything for one race when you're in the position that he's in. You got to mix it up. But you got to look at the people that he's doing it for. Like, do you know how many great stories of people that are in prison wrongly that he could be doing right now? But instead, he's doing Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, Larry Hoover.
He's doing it for name recognition. I mean, he's doing it for name recognition. If he pardons, somebody like you or me that might be wrongfully convicted, you don't get any capital in terms of notoriety out of that. Pardoning a guy like this, you definitely do.
Right. And who is he who is he appealing to? He's appealing to people who don't vote. Like the people who know or care about damn Larry Hoover could give a fuck less about him being
I couldn't agree with you more on that part. But give me a second. I'm curious. I heard about this on the live. I didn't know about this before I came on air.
Lead prosecutor in Larry Hoover's federal case reacting.
Huh? I was being sarcastic about it being a good thing, though.
Okay.
Just so you know.
Fair enough. It's only a minute. I want to hear this, though.
Prosecutor in Larry Hoover's federal case reacting this afternoon with disappointment, telling us there are just some offenders and crimes that are not deserving of clemency, and Hoover falls in that category. But this afternoon, President Trump disagreeing, commuting Hoover's 6 life sentences on federal convictions to time served. Hoover still faces, however, a 200-year state sentence on a 1973 murder conviction, so it appears he won't be getting out of prison, at least in the near term. It was while behind bars serving time for that murder that federal prosecutors say he continued overseeing the Chicago Gangster Disciples, a gang that he co-founded. And in 1997, he was convicted of running a criminal enterprise. But Hoover's attorney says over the years, Hoover has been rehabilitated and written numerous letters talking about his experience, how he turned to crime, and the good he can do in steering young people away from a similar fate.
He is being held because he is a symbol, not because he needs further incarceration.
That's his attorney, so she's going to speak positive. But I want to just say this briefly before you and I continue. Remember when Biden brought home Brittany Griner and people were going apeshit about him bringing home Brittany Griner? He just pardoned a murderer.
Not just a murderer, but I mean, he ran one of the most violent criminal organizations in the history of this country.
Yeah, this is a.
Make it seem like he's reformed now that he's been. No shit.
Yeah.
What else he gonna do in prison but join the join the Islamic Nation? You know what I'm saying? What the hell they thought he was going to do?
If Biden pardoned this dude, you'd have a whole bunch of guys out in pickup trucks waiting for his ass to come out of the prison, talking about they're going to take him out. I mean, he pardoned a murderer, for God's sake. Oh, my God.
He got the hood flushed with all kinds of heroin, everything. And he's doing it and he's appealing to what? A certain demographic of young men.
That's why I keep saying Trump is going to continue winning men, because he's doing, I mean, when you look at the liberals, they ain't doing shit that's pleasing a lot of men. Trump is very alpha male-like. I mean, so the men love him. And a lot of the women that believe in the traditional family and the hierarchy and the biblical shit, they like him too.
Well, I give you my own opinion. That's the worst of the worst. That he just however.
It sounds like it. Yeah, he facing like 6 life sentences and shit. And you complain about Brittany Griner, really? God, like you wouldn't have found this dude in the sewer.
They call Brittany Griner a mule.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. I mean, the girl had a little bit of weed on him. This guy don't murder people. And you don't hear him saying shit about, this is a bad pardon. There's no way around it. This is a very bad pardon.
And the kids to this day will commit crimes on his behalf. On Larry Hoover.
Yeah, no kidding, on Hoover. Not only that, but you hear the right talking about, everybody from Candace Owens on down talking about how the left and how the black folks are wrong because they idolize, they idolize bad guys, they idolize gangbangers. He just pardoned a murderer. Fuck. He went to the top of the pyramid and pardoned the guy.
Like he's like one of the founding fathers of gangsters, and they like, yeah, let him go.
I don't want to hear shit about rap music from this point on. I don't want to hear a damn thing about idolizing it. You pardon the fucking murderer. You pardon the granddaddy of all of that shit. Like, God.
But the thing about it is, man, I think a lot of it is to cover up all of these other parties that he's doing right now. Because he's letting go some of the other worst of the worst.
This might be the worst. This might be worse than them, though.
Yeah. It's worse than them, but he's all of these white collar guys who got caught for tax fraud. I mean, it's a who's list of white collar criminals that he's letting go. And a lot of us, normal people like wouldn't know these people. But if you look at that list of people that he got on there, it is horrible. All of these people that he's letting out.
I heard somebody
Where they defrauded people in their life savings and these investment funds and stuff, and these people have gone bankrupt, and he just letting them go, saying, I think he was, I think he served enough time.
You know what this almost kind of reminds me of? I think it was it the Joker? The Batman when Heath Ledger was playing the Joker. Just you put a bad guy in charge, and the bad guy does bad guy things. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, because I heard somebody say you can't elect a criminal and expect him to be for law and order. I mean, I heard somebody say that this is what you get. You put a felon in charge, he gonna be pro felon. I mean, so and it does seem to be that way.
And it's hard to listen to, like your last caller talking about, he thinks it was good that, what Trump is doing about the LGBT community and about abortion and stuff. But he giving them a pass on all of the evil shit he doing, erasing our history, with the stuff that's going to be detrimental to his black kids. He don't care about none of that as long as the gays can't use the bathroom. I don't even understand. Like, is his child participating in swimming competition? And it's been some
something. I've covered so many lives on this. I still to this day have no clue how the transgender community became such a huge issue for folks on the right when, as I often state, most folks on the right are not, you don't have a transgender person in your old zip code that you're affiliated with. And it's the same thing which is why I also asked him, like, do you have a lot of illegal immigrants in your area? Like, it sounds like your biggest issues were shit that ain't gonna affect your life at all. I mean, yeah, your daughter ain't gonna be dealing with it ain't like some kind of transgender dude is gonna break some kind of swim championship record your kid got. I mean, if you're pro-life, chances are the girl you're with is pro-life as well. It ain't you want to stop the neighbors from doing shit. So yeah,
I think now that he's voted that way with a lot of people, they don't want to admit they was wrong. Even after you kind of cornered him on all of these issues, he was like, "Would you still vote for him?" Yeah. What the hell? And you giving him a C? You giving him a C, but you saying that's still worth your vote, knowing all of these people. He talking about, well, it's really hurting all of them. It's hurting you, dude. He talking about it's only hurting the white people that voted for him. Well, no, it's hurting you. When he's erasing your history as a human being, as a black person.
Yeah, he did.
He's hurting you.
He did say that. Yeah, he did say that he didn't like the erasing history, and I mean, he admitted that.
Right.
Yeah, he admitted that Trump is doing some things that he did. What he say? He took a turn and started doing things he never. Because I mean, obviously the tariffs and some of that Elon Doge stuff. Trump didn't run on that. He certainly did not run on. I mean, I don't know if he would have won. I mean, because a lot of them federal employees he's firing and a lot of the farmers that are being hurt, them are his people. Obviously, the Cubans and Venezuelans that are Americans and have voting rights, them are their people that are getting turned around, and some of the policies that they used to come here, 1 foot on U.S. soil, you could stay, and now they've gotten rid of that. These are your people he's punishing. So I don't know if he would have won if they do it again.
Yeah, I don't think he would win if they do it again. But that would mean that the Democrats would have to be good at messaging, which I don't know how much faith I have in their messaging. But what I did want to bring up though is this thing with the Federal Trade Court. Did you hear about that today?
No.
The Federal Trade Court of the United States said that all of this tariff shit he's doing is
illegal. Yeah, I did hear about that. Yes, I did hear about that.
Not illegal, unconstitutional. And let me give you a quick excerpt from what they said, just so you can get a feel. They said, the questions of the cases before the court is whether the International Emergency Economic Powers Act of 1977, which is what Trump used to impose these tariffs, delegates these powers to the president in the form of authority to impose unlimited tariffs on goods from nearly every country in the world. The court does not read the Economic Powers Act to confer such unbound authority and sets aside the challenge tariffs imposed thereunder. So they saying all of these tariffs that he's doing are illegal, are unconstitutional.
The problem is, though, and this is why I keep saying that Trump is constantly winning, and whether you should join him or not. The problem is Congress ain't gonna say shit no matter what he does. Even if, I mean, because that's their job to speak up, or somebody to challenge him in the courts. Congress can't be dependent on. I mean, he could literally in the middle of Fifth Avenue, and Congress would be like, "That motherfucker had to do something wrong." I mean, Congress is not gonna challenge Trump no matter what he does.
I get it. But this is not about Congress. We know Congress has abdicated their power. They had a vote on it, and they could have took their power back and took responsibility for tariffs, and they said no. But this ruling is talking about the authority that Trump tried to use, the international emergency economic powers.
I don't see.
And they're saying that.
Go ahead.
And they're saying that nothing that was happening in our economy gave him the right to use emergency powers. That's the problem, is everything he's doing it under emergency power.
I don't even know how he got the right to use the Alien Enemies Act from the 1700s under the guys that were being invaded. I mean, to me, Congress should be involved in that as well. The president should not be able to unilaterally decide that we've been invaded. I mean, Congress should have to rule, because when FDR stood before and said on December 7th we had a sudden and deliberate attack by the Japanese Empire, he was addressing Congress. You should have to get their permission to deem something as an invasion. He shouldn't be able to do that by himself.
Right. But the problem with that particular situation is, you got to remember, you got to have somebody come through the courts to be able to make it up to that point. Who can say that they have been harmed as far as immigrants that is going to make it through the court system all the way up to that high of a court? It's just not going to happen, because if you try it, your ass going to jail or you getting deported. You try to go up in court and file a case right now talking about.
What I'm saying is, even if you're going to deem that America is being invaded and act on that invasion, to me, Congress should be the one that is required to, to officiate whether we're being invaded or not. I don't think the president should be able to say. I mean, Trump could say the liberals are invading us, for God's sake. I mean, he shouldn't be able to do that on his own.
Right. I agree with you. Now, the emergency powers do give him the power to enact immediately in an invasion situation. He don't have enough time to go to Congress.
Okay.
But when there's time permitting, they're supposed to chime in and say, just like the international war power, the same thing. He can go ahead and say, "Oh, we've been attacked. Boom, we're gonna do something." But they should immediately come together in an emergency situation and say, "Okay, we approve or we don't approve."
Yeah. And I can agree with that. If it's something happening right now, you got to act right now at this very minute. Yeah, okay, you can give him some immediate executive powers to do something. But yeah, in time, time permitting, Congress has to allow, okay, you can act, you get a month. If something else is continuing, you can, but Congress has to officially step up and say whether this is yay or nay. And they've obviously had plenty of time already to step in, because this isn't an emergency. Most of the people that Trump is deeming as invaders, some of them been over here since I was a kid. So it ain't like this is happening right now. I mean, he's getting rid of people that have been here for 30, 40 years and shit like that. So,
man, did you see the little girl that they sent the dang on self-deport notice to? It's like a little girl. She's like 3 years old, and she's here getting some treatment that they only have here in America.
Yep.
And the family.
And the doctor said the doctor said she could die in a matter of days.
They said she will die. Will, not may. She will die in a matter of days. They said and they said your petition doesn't have any merit. You got to self-deport.
Did she have any? The little 3-year-old? Did she have a little small, tiny MS-13 tattoos on her fingers? I mean, I don't know. I mean, he told us he was getting rid of gangbangers and shit. I mean, a 3-year-old? Did she have a little tiny MS-13 tattoo on her hand?
Hey, we got another Elian Gonzalez here. Like, yeah.
I'm telling you, that's why I keep.
We don't see nothing wrong with you.
No.
Get on back home. We can't afford you here.
And that's why I keep challenging the notion that we're a Christian country. The fact that America as a whole, particularly on the right, are standing back and letting that shit happen. Like I said, there were more people protesting bringing Brittany Griner home than that kind of stuff. I mean, you're going to let this kid, the medical professionals are telling you this kid is likely to die for this deportation. This girl is no harm to the damn country. I mean, I don't see the Christianity. I don't see the Christianity at all.
Zero empathy at all. Just zero. But I'd be curious, my last thing is I'd be curious to see tomorrow morning what it's going to do to the stock market with this court, because this is not just a regular court. This is like the federal, the
FTC, Federal Trade Commission. My guess is, well, in this case, obviously Trump didn't want this to happen, but I do believe the purpose of those tariffs is to make his close friends and associates money. I mean, you impose a tariff that you know you're not going to leave on there. Okay, let's say you threaten to put this huge tariff on there because you know it's going to fuck the market up. You already know the minute you rescind that tariff, the market's going to improve significantly. You know this ahead of time. So all you got to do is tell the right people. You know, on June 7th, I'm going to correct this. So they know where to put their investments. He's doing this over and over again. And my guess is he is deliberately helping people that he owed favors to or related to him, he's friends with, or whatever the case may be. He helping people make money.
Yeah, and I hear MAGA people talking about, well, everybody should just join in and do the same thing. Everybody don't have the resources to just jump into the damn stock market. They don't have the resources or the know-how. I mean, I do. I'm taking advantage of it. But that's not, everybody can't do what I do. So just saying that, the solution is let's all just jump on board. No, then it wouldn't be what it is if everybody could just jump on board. Right. He ain't trying to get everybody rich. He's trying to get his friends and family. He on the old the old T-Mobile plan, old friends and family plan.
The wealth divide after 4 years of Trump is going to be huge. I mean, the wealthy gonna make a ton of money, and the folks at the bottom are gonna be way down the road somewhere. I mean, the wealth divide is only getting greater with this stuff.
So, what you think about Elon saying that he don't like the big beautiful bill? He said he didn't like that shit.
I honestly don't. Elon, I still cannot really figure out. I know he's in it to make a bunch of money for himself, but I have a hard time. Go ahead.
And he did. They said he made about $187 billion since he joined the Trump train. Yeah. So he did make a lot of money. Now he got all of those contracts. He got all the inspector generals that was looking after, trying to, court cases against him. All of them got fired. Now he got, Starlink all across the damn world. Now he in the Middle East. He got South Africa. He got everybody. Yeah, he made a lot more. People keep looking just at Tesla stock saying, oh, well, he lost money. That's not.
No, it ain't. I mean, he's involved in
bread and butter.
Yeah, he's involved in all kinds of shit. I mean, okay, because these folks are obviously making a killing. And when you talked about Biden and Hunter, 10% to the big guy, these guys are making multiples of anything that Hunter and Joe Biden could have ever made. Is it really getting? Hundreds
of billions, and they talking about Hunter made $3 million.
Right. You would need the little exponent to get the amounts that Trump is doing compared to Hunter Biden. You'd have to add an exponent to some of the shit that Hunter Biden is doing. But the thing is getting the transgender and shit, is addressing that important that we're willing to turn a blind. We know these guys are robbing us blind. I think even the MAGA that are telling you what you just said, which is, well, we should all do this. I mean, MAGA is admitting they know that Trump is getting super rich from this shit. The money is coming from somewhere. It's coming from us. So they even know it. So I guess the question is addressing the transgender community and putting pro-life shit, is it that important that you're okay with the guy ripping us off to get it?
Man, that's a distraction. So we can't tell when somebody's sticking their hand in our back pocket and taking our wallet.
This ain't this is not a hand, this is a dick. You feel this. You feel this ain't a hand. I mean, he's sticking something huge back there.
One last thing to Gen X, I see he just came back on. Gen X got on here and said he got all of this money and he done made some goddamn toasters into some computers. And now he gonna try to tell us how good he doing when he just told us he's sucking off the teeth of the government, get this goddamn disability check when his ass definitely ain't disabled. Then he's talking about women. Women have power. You know, if my wife came to me and she bitched at me enough, I'd just go ahead and let her win. But now she shouldn't vote. Man, well, how much of damn hypocrite can you be, man? Make up your mind. Either they got power or they don't. Either you want them to have autonomy, to have their own thought process or not. All you want is somebody to make you a salmon.
I can't speak on it. I'll leave it at that. Denkel, thanks for coming through.
All right, take care.
I appreciate it. In regards to looking, he really laid into Gen X. Gen X, if you're there, I would love to see a comment from that. Looking in the comments real quick though. This crown is driving me nuts. And what does it mean? We poor, fatigued, fat, and dumb. Don't piss down my back and tell me it's raining. Jesus was definitely MAGA. Jesus equals make all Gentiles anointed. Okay, that's different. Exactly, Dencal. I caught that hypocrisy too. Debo, yeah, there was a little bit. There was some there. Let me continue on. I'll leave that at that. Hopefully I can bring up another caller here and we'll try that. Talking about should we join Trump? Should we join President Trump? Because he has made it clear that by hang on a second. I don't know what. He's been a model prisoner for many years. He's been. That's Larry Hoover's lawyer speaking favorably of him, which I didn't. I didn't hear about that till I came on live. But out of everybody that's in prison that deserves maybe a second chance, he picked Larry Hoover. Now, what I told my last caller, Dencal, it's because of the name recognition. That's all. I mean, because there's a lot of people in prison, trumped up drug charges, bad eyewitness testimony, or the courts rewarded some criminal for testifying against somebody they wanted. I mean, there's a lot of people in prison that probably should be let out way before Larry Hoover, way before this guy. I mean, even the streets admit Larry Hoover was involved in shit. There's a lot of people that are behind bars that even folks behind bars is like, this dude wasn't hanging out with us on the street. You got the wrong guy. He don't even have a mindset or the temperament to be what you're accusing of. There's a lot of folks that are incarcerated that are innocent. Hoover was not one of them. Larry Hoover was not one of them. So, in fact, I don't even like talking about the guy because I fear retribution. No way in hell that guy should have been pardoned, though. It's just insane. But before we go on to the next caller, talking about whether you should join Trump or not, because he just continues to win no matter what.
No group in America has been more harmed by Hillary Clinton's policies than African Americans. No group. If Hillary Clinton's goal was to inflict pain on the African American community, she could not have done a better job.
What did Hillary Clinton do to the African American community? I mean, I know he didn't like Hillary. She wasn't, Secretary of State, she was working under Obama. Senator, what did Hillary Clinton do Now, I've been playing this a few times tonight, but I'm trying to think. What is he blaming Hillary Clinton for doing to the African American community? I don't know from this era, because this is back from his first run in 2015, 2016. I don't know if any reporter questioned him on that, but I would have loved to have somebody ask him, what did she do? What did she do to the black community?
African American community. She could not have done a better job. It's a disgrace. Look, what do you have to lose? You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. 58% of your youth is unemployed. What the hell do you have to lose?
And Hillary Clinton was never in a position to have anything to do with any of that stuff. Maybe as a senator, she could have done a little bit of that for New York, but she never was in a position to be in control of. This is just like when you hear folks on the right saying that Kamala Harris didn't do shit. She really, as a vice president, was not in position to do any of this stuff. I mean, look, you favored Trump's first term. You think he was one of the best presidents we've had in recent memory. Mike Pence doesn't get credit for doing a damn thing when Trump was in office. The vice president doesn't do much. So I don't understand why he's talking about Hillary Clinton didn't do much. I don't know when she was in power. I mean, she was working under Obama. She wasn't empowered to do much. Let me see if I can continue on with the program. I was trying to bring up a caller. I guess it didn't happen. Looking in the comments here. How is that good for African Americans? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. We'll try it again here. Sherbert, I tried to bring you up. I don't know if it didn't let me. Continue on. Let me see if it'll do it. There we go. Good evening.
How's it going, Tim? Can you hear me?
I'm loud and clear. Loud and clear. Good to see you. So we're talking about joining Trump. What say you?
I'd rather die.
Damn. He ain't that bad, is he?
It's very much that bad. Why would I be part of the Nazi party?
I just had a black man that was okay with that.
Yeah, you're going to have retards on all sides, I guess. But I'm not going to join the Nazi party.
Well,
what up to a war, Tim? That's not a joke anymore. I'm not going to give in and let them just take over utter control.
What about the notion that most Trump supporters are not, nationalists or supremacists, and that's just a small minority in that group?
I think it's a small minority that is not that.
So you believe
it's the same way they're going to call all liberals baby killers and shit. Obviously not the case when you're fear-mongering.
So
he's literally trying to take over everything.
So you believe that most MAGA are intolerant?
Yeah, that's why they voted for his policies of hate.
Well, I mean, there is a lot of minorities in that group.
Yeah, but there's also a lot of people that just voted against the brown guy, against the women, against the black lady.
Well, when it comes to voting against the black lady, voting against Kamala Harris, I get the point has to be made is that, I mean, she didn't have a good campaign. She didn't give good answers. She didn't campaign enough. She didn't have a long enough time because Biden didn't step down. I mean, there are legitimate reasons why she lost that have nothing to do with race, aren't there?
Yes and no. They made it about race when he had that interview with the black reporters, and he could not say black in a ridiculously dumb way.
Well,
every single time, oh, she turned black. What was that? Why did we have to do that? It's pretty clear dog whistle. And if they're not going to admit that, like, Elon didn't do a Heil, well, then nothing really matters. They're not going to say they voted for hate, Tim. They're never going to admit they're racist.
Yeah. No, I agree. People who hate don't often admit they hate. That is absolutely true. I don't disagree with that. But I mean, at the same time, you heard the African American come on the program, and his biggest concern was LGBTQ stuff. And obviously, if that's your concern, well, I mean, he did say that though. So if that's a big concern, you're not going to vote for.
It comes back to hate.
Huh?
It comes back to hate. He doesn't like the LGBT.
Well, he believes they're harmful to his kids.
As having a transgender sister that I just saw in Chicago, people are just afraid of what they don't know. Yeah, it's kind of strange. I don't really agree with my sister, but that's their journey. And if these MAGAs want to live on a journey of hate, that's on them.
Yeah. Well, what about the notion that they believe that teaching them and talking about it in the schools is harmful to the kids? Women's sports is being compromised. How do you respond to that? That's what they believe.
They just don't want to give up their privilege. If they're going to say reading the Bible to kids in school is not going to give them that same propaganda, well, then they're just lying to you.
Well,
I'm not going to say there's not some people trying to push their agenda, but it's not so organized like it is on the Republican side.
well, they're going to say that, well, I mean, we know LGBT trying to push their agenda. I mean, Trump has gotten rid of DEI and affirmative action. Do you see any agendas in that? I mean, because a lot of folks are believing that under Trump, the people with the proper merit can now feel confident they'll get the job as opposed to just giving it to somebody simply based on their gender or the color of their skin.
That's pretty fucking stupid of them, Tim. When they give Pete Hegseth the job, when they gave Stephen Miller the job, and they gave Kristi Noem the job. Remember she killed a dog and nobody seems to give a shit anymore?
Yeah.
She's still a dog killer the same way J.D. Vance killed the Pope.
J.D. Vance killed the what? Oh, the Pope. Yeah, I mean, look, I mean, like I said, when me and Denkel were talking about him pardoning Larry Hoover, and the guy is an actual murderer. I mean, look, when it comes to Trump, this is why I'm talking about joining Trump. People are not going to push back no matter what he does.
I will. And I will continue to push back because I refuse to be part of that cult.
Is there
I will be part of the resistance on day one.
But is there any possibility at all with you that you could see any of the bright side of Trump at all? I mean, has he done anything at all you think is good?
Yeah, I don't like pennies.
So he got rid of the copper penny. So, okay, score one for him. Well, no chance at, I mean,
no,
like.
Tim, you're gaslighting. You play that video of we're going to get tired of winning. And then he tried to take over the government and lost all of their supermajority in the House, Senate, and the President.
Wait, say that again.
They lost their supermajority in the House, Senate, presidency in 2020.
Well,
it all goes in waves, but they had some recompense after trying to do some fucked up shit. You're going to get tired of winning, and then they didn't win anything for like 5 years.
Well, there was a gap in
they won now. That doesn't mean their failure losses, previous losses, don't mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, there was a gap in the winning, but he is the political New York Yankees version of that, though. He wins a lot. He's giving me the middle finger. I think you're. I think
count winning in all the ways you want, but it's not winning in my book when grandparents are about to start dying from losing their Medicaid.
He says they're not.
I won this shiny quarter right here, but I lost the entire game.
He says they're not going to touch Medicaid, though.
I don't give a fuck what they say. They lie. Who said that earlier? They're going to lie when they're blinking?
Yeah, I did have a caller say that. So you think that Trump and his administration is just overall a dishonest administration?
Very much so, and that's where it pisses me off with MAGA Reacts. He gets so mad when you twist him into a pretzel, but all he has to do is admit that there's some fucked up shit, but he won't even admit that. I'll admit I didn't like Biden when he was running for his second term. I don't like the idea of an 80-year-old man being the president. And I am willing to concede when I don't like something, but when the React comes on, it's constant, well, I don't know if we know what he meant. Just say he did something bad. Is that really so hard? What is happening? If you can't admit anything, You'll never admit the truth.
That's why I had a caller on today that was one of my most fascinating callers I've had in a while. That African American that voted for Trump, that it was admitting that there are neo-Nazis on that side. I mean, you don't normally get that. He was admitting that there are some flaws to Trump. Most Trump supporters, particularly the African Americans, they're giving that guy an A+. He gave him a C.
At least it wasn't an A+.
Yeah.
But when you look at just him being... So Trump is Andrew Tate in my head. Yeah, he's winning, he's driving the cars, but he's still a shithead of a person. And I don't see why anyone would ever follow them.
I mean...
So if you're going to be okay with Andrew Tate, then you probably love Trump. You know, alpha male, I guess, but they're really just beta bitches in my head.
Mm. So we got a little bit more than 3.5 years left. What are you predicting? What are you predicting?
We're going to war.
What?
We talked about this, Tim. You were just as afraid 2 months ago that nothing was going to come back around. We're going to war. That's going to happen. I really hate that, but I'm not going to keep lying anymore.
We're going to war with
us, with MAGA.
So you believe there will be some kind of civil conflict with MAGA on one side? Who the hell's on the other side?
Everyone else. Yeah. MAGA is about 30% of this country. We still have 60% that isn't going to go along with it.
MAGA, a civil conflict, MAGA representing about 30% of the country. Is there anybody else that might join? I mean, because there are Republicans and traditional conservatives. Any chance?
Well, we might get some North Koreans, and then they'll just masturbate the whole time.
Is there any way some shit like this can be stopped or prevented?
No, because they won't stop lying, and they won't stop, deporting people and just saying, "Well, this is the right way." Have you heard about the copycat kidnappers?
No.
That are pretending to be ICE. You haven't heard this.
So
there's about 6 or 7 people saying that they're ICE, doing the same, don't question me, I'm authority, and then raping and beating women that they can just take away because you can't question an unidentified officer apparently.
I didn't hear.
That's why you have to identify.
Yeah, I haven't heard about the case the stuff you're talking about, but I actually was one early on that said that if you give the police the right to do stuff without being questioned, without due process, you are opening up the door for criminals to let's say, for instance, there's a chick that lives down the street. I find her attractive, and I'm one of those perverts or whatever, and I want something from her. I mean, I could if she doesn't know who I am, I could just go down there and take advantage of her. I mean, that is true because these people are afraid of ICE and they just want to stay in the country. They may be willing to bow down and do whatever you ask just for you to leave them alone. I mean, yeah, I could see that happening. I didn't hear about what you're talking about, but I did predict it was likely to happen.
There's at least 4 different people doing that.
Yeah.
My guess just that becomes a topic on another live because that's serious.
Yeah. My guess is it's actually probably more. Because like I said, if you got 3 or 4 guys and they got ice jackets on and they show up and they make demands and they say, you can either give in to these demands or we can deport you, a lot of folks are going to give in. Whether it's robbing them, raping them, whatever a lot of people are going to give in. I mean, so they take what they want and leave. I mean, I could certainly see that happening.
An ice jacket now. They keep going in undercover, and so now you just have to say you're with ICE.
Yeah.
They've made it stupidly easy to do this, and I think that's wrong.
Well, you got a large portion of people in this country that believes that they should have thought about that before they entered illegally.
But they can do that to anyone. There was one lady that kidnapped her ex-boyfriend's girlfriend and then beat the shit out of her and was going to kill her. It doesn't have to just be minorities. It could be anyone saying they're ICE to anyone else. They're like, oh, they're just a really white, they're a South African, so that's why I've grabbed a white guy. Doesn't matter. And we've crossed the Rubicon and we're going to war, most likely.
Wow.
You can't talk with people this hard. You can't troll this hard expect everyone just to go, "Oh, keep lifting their feet."
Yeah, I mean it does open up the door to the possibility of some atrocious shit. So you say 4 groups. My guess is it's probably greater than that. I mean, we just probably because if you do this to an illegal immigrant or someone like that, they're probably not going to follow up and call the cops. So you could probably victimize people and they wouldn't even report it.
But Tim, you didn't even know about this, and you're on top of this shit more than most people.
I didn't know. I hadn't heard about it. I had not heard about it.
Nothing will ever happen. People just want to be ignorant, and that drives me crazy. When they won't even admit to the clear documented things, when will they ever admit to people getting kidnapped like this?
If they do admit to it, they'll say it's a very small minority of people, a small group of folks that ain't that big of a deal. Just like when it comes to deporting Americans and things like that, that should not have been deported. Yeah, there's a few mistakes here or there.
No, that's what supports our economy. Who builds our fucking houses, who picks our crops, who does the hotel cleanings, does all the things that you and me don't want to do. Yeah. And so, no, that's horseshit. It's not a small community. It's actually our entire economy that's run off of it. Now, fuck all this hate that they're throwing out there just because they're a different color or they like a different sex than I like. It's all about hate, Tim. I'm really starting to get into this resistance and start fighting back against MAGA.
This is the new America, Sherbert. I do got to move it on, but this is the America we voted for, man. Thank you for coming through.
Stop fluffing.
All right, moving on with the program. He said stop fluffing. Anyway, thank you folks for tapping the screen at 53. Looking in the comments here real quick. What does this say? I think Bug got Holocausted. I don't know what that means. France showed us what to do with corrupt Bergen oligarchs. Yeah, you know, most dictators don't have a happy ending. I mean, I know Kim Jong-il in North Korea, was replaced by his son and things like that. But eventually, dictatorships go down hard. I'm not saying that Trump is old enough that, well, he hasn't officially became a dictator yet either, but he is joking about it. And he's, we can take it any way we want, but he's selling hats that says Trump 2028 and shit like that. So he's joking about it. But even if he doesn't become a dictator, he's doing dictator-like shit. I mean, we're talking about the Constitution constantly with him. We're talking about breaking laws constantly with him. I mean, we're talking about firing judges and people that would normally perform checks and balances constantly with him. So he doesn't have to be in beyond the 4 years he's entitled to do a hell of a lot of things that are dictator-like. I mean, he's getting rid of the checks and balances that some might suggest this country was founded on. So we'll see what ends up happening. Nevertheless, I do appreciate the 53,000 on the likes. And real quick, there was a comment that came in, a super chat rather. Ace Ventura said, "Is Constitution good? Should we Constitution?" I don't quite get what you're saying. The Constitution is the law of the land, and you should follow it. I believe that part. I don't get what you're saying beyond that, though. What about Trump getting rid of body cams? Yeah, getting rid of that, getting rid of the database that tracks bad actions of police. I mean, like I said, to me, Trump comes across as, I used the Joker when Heath Ledger played that character on Batman, the Dark Knight or whatever it was called. Just you put when a bad guy is in charge, he just does bad shit, open up the jails and let these people out. He just comes across like that. I mean, because he's letting out folks that are clearly bad guys, just genuine bad guys. Even when it comes to January 6th, a lot of folks believe that some of the folks that were incarcerated from January 6th didn't commit a crime, they were let in, or they weren't in the building yet. But there are others that even folks who support January 6th will admit, okay, well, yeah, that one was bad. Or maybe that one guy, yeah, he pardoned them all. He pardoned them all. And he didn't commute their sentences. They're walking around with a criminal history as if nothing ever happened, as if they never had any. I mean, they can go apply for any job. It's nothing. They have a clean slate. He gave them a clean slate. I mean, he literally comes across as if you let somebody out of jail, make them president, and they just started making these decisions. I mean, he literally looks like he's looking for the bad guys. That's just the way I'm taking it. Supercell Fusion says Trump ain't shit. Said he lied about drill baby drill, and he said lots of bullshit. Or he said it's lots of bullshit. So you're saying that Trump lied about drill baby drill. Well, the problem with that is the purpose of drill baby drill was apparently to bring down the price of fuel. A lot of folks are saying the price of fuel has come down under Trump anyway. So even if he doesn't drill baby drill, a lot of folks are going to be favorable to Trump because at the very least, the price of fuel has stabilized. It definitely is not really going up to any significant degree. So same thing with groceries, plus or minus a few here or there, but it's at least stabilized. That's not something that should be chided as a victory because Trump promised to bring shit down, not stabilize it. But understand we're talking about Trump. We're not talking about Biden. So with Trump, a lot of the things that folks were in, a desperate condition wanting to change immediately with Biden, they're kind of willing to deal with it a little bit under Trump. They're giving Trump some leeway. I don't have an explanation for it at all. Under Biden, the price of eggs was too damn high. It needed to be addressed immediately. Once Trump got in office, if it takes him a while to do it, we can kind of wait. I don't have an answer for why the difference between those two, but that is Trump got in power and started talking about there'll be some temporary pain, and suddenly the country was okay with it. But when Biden was in office, that shit needed to stop immediately. So I can't speak on it. Gulf of America, land of the dummies. Well, the Gulf of America thing, I don't know the purpose of that. In fact, what am I wearing under here? You said the Gulf of America thing. There you go. The T-shirt that I got on under here. I don't know if you guys can see it on there, but I still tend to go by the Gulf and its proper name, established in 1550. I don't know. To me, renaming the Gulf is just an official way of trolling. That's all that is. I just think that's division for the sake of division. I don't. I thought that was pretty dumb to do that. It pleased a lot of egotistical Americans that are similar to Trump in that nature. But I mean, there are people that are operating down there in the Gulf that may have, beachside resorts and restaurants and things like that, that they have to end up putting up new signs and shit. I mean, it may have cost people money doing that. It's just unnecessary. It does nothing at all. Nobody benefits from going from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. But I do see where Bug in the comments says MAGA rules. And I think that was the benefit of it. It's just to show we're on top. We are winning, as Trump said. I think that's really what it was. Real quick, looking in the comments, who's that said? Supercell Fusion says, Trump ain't shit. He says he's more of a dictator than a leader. Well, I mean, some would say they're one and the same. A dictator is just a different type of leader than one that works in a democracy under a republic. I mean, he's a leader. He's just one that doesn't really entertain being challenged. That's kind of the difference between someone running a republic and someone being a dictator. Dictator gets to do whatever they want, whether it's good for the community or not. They just do it. Don't have to really worry about anybody pushing back. And that's Trump is getting in that direction. He's starting to become more and more like that. I mean, like we talked about the Federal Trade Commission. Denkow was on earlier talking about how the Federal Trade Commission has ruled that Trump's imposing tariffs on damn near every country on earth is unconstitutional. Nobody has said any damn thing. Congress isn't going to say anything. In fact, the talking heads on the right, nobody said anything. Same thing with Uh, Due process, getting rid of that, or talking about getting rid of it, talking about running a third term, talking about ending birthright citizenship. They're not saying anything. They're kind of letting them know, if you want to do it, we ain't gonna say shit. We're kind of turning the other way. They're making it clear that if you want to be a dictator, we're okay with it. I mean, he's talking about doing a whole lot of things that go against the Constitution. I just gave you a bunch of them. Birthright citizenship, that's in the Constitution. Due process is in the Constitution. Like I said, the Federal Trade Commission ruling that this tariffs might be unconstitutional. That's another. I mean, he's doing plenty of shit that Congress, or even the Alien Enemies Act, to me, in my opinion, that should have been at least challenged. To just up and deem this as an invasion, it should be challenged. But they're making it clear he can do what he wants. Nicholas B. Harry says the price of eggs have nothing to do with Trump and Biden. No, it doesn't. Good point. But I will say this. Under Biden, because Biden was nowhere near as good or effective at addressing the American public as Trump, under Biden, the American public was led to believe that Biden was somehow responsible for the price of eggs. Fact is what bird flu or whatever the case may be, they had to destroy a lot of chickens, and less chickens are going to produce less eggs, less supply. The demand shoots up and the price goes along with it. That's what happened. Under Trump, if that had happened, Trump would have been far better at explaining to the American public that not only do I have nothing to do with the price of eggs going up, I'm doing everything I can to get us past this so that the eggs price can go back down. Biden, as some would say, was hiding in his basement, just literally letting the Republicans control the narrative, which just was blaming him for everything. This is where having someone that does not address the public as often as Trump really hurt Biden, because your opponent is on TV every fucking day trashing you in areas where it ain't even necessary to trash. You can't remain silent when you got a guy doing that. Certainly when there's an election coming up. I mean, leading up to the election, Trump was probably in front of cameras 20 times as much as Biden. And every time he's in front of the cameras, he's saying something negative about Biden. Even now, every single time Trump is in front of the camera, he's trashing Biden. Even now, he'll be overseas at some event, Saudi Arabia, talking to Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel, speaking to Zelensky. Any event he's at, he's trashing Biden. You cannot put a camera in front of that man without him trashing President Biden. Even when he was on the White House lawn suggesting that people purchase a Tesla, he climbed inside the car and said, I bet Biden couldn't do this. Nothing to do with Biden. Just trashed him for the sake of trashing him. You can't be quiet when you got a guy doing that to you. You just can't. I mean, he just beating. I mean, this is the essence of bullying, just beating the guy for the sake of doing it. No, the public should learn about commerce in this country, should stop blaming Biden ignorance. True, but if you got the president, in regards to President Trump, telling you that over and over and over again, you can't depend on the country to go out and learn about commerce, as you're saying, and do all of that stuff. You need somebody on the left to get out there and counter that shit. Left didn't have that. And as a result, Trump 2024 is a reality. Anyhow, folks, I do got to step away. I appreciate the 50,000. Thank you. Nicholas Bihari says, by that logic, people should be hating Trump because of volatility in the market. People believe what they want to believe, and it's more of a societal issue. Yes, but the problem with Trump is unique. The problem with Trump is, I think for most of Trump's supporters, he really can't do anything wrong. You heard the phrase in the middle of Fifth Avenue. How many folks believe that's not true at this point? To me, it's pretty clear in the middle of Fifth Avenue could happen, and there would be a significant amount of folks who would be saying, look, maybe he felt threatened. Maybe he had to defend him. I mean, he is at the point where he can do no wrong. So when you start talking about the volatility of the market, People are going to find somebody else to blame. People are going to suggest we wouldn't have a volatile market if Trump did not have to clean up all of the mess that Biden left behind. There's just, when it comes to Trump, there's always somebody else to blame to protect him. So while I agree with your statement, we're talking about Trump. We're talking about a unique person. So I want to agree with you. I do agree with you, but with Trump, you're just not going to get that. I mean, I think we've all seen Trump do stuff, and you're like, "What? Why would you turn a blind eye to?" Like we talked about him pardoning Hoover just a moment ago, pardoning a murderer, and we talked a lot about when Biden brought back Brittany Griner and how the right hated that. Trump just pardoned a murderer today. You're not going to hear MAGA complaining about that at all. And they pardoned one from the hood. He didn't go out and pardon somebody like Kyle Rittenhouse or somebody. He pardoned somebody from the hood that was murdering. I mean, literally all of the stuff that he talks about, gang banging and all of the shit the black community just champions the worst of the worst. He pardoned one of them dudes. The stuff that MAGA would normally criticize. I mean, he pardoned a guy that literally should have a parental advisory sticker tattooed on him. MAGA's not going to say anything. So when he said,
to win so much, you may even get tired of winning and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning. We can't take it anymore. Mr. President, it's too much. And I'll say, no, it isn't. We have to keep winning. We have to win more. We're going to win more.
I don't see how he was wrong in it. I just don't. I mean, he's doing whatever he wants to do. I don't see how he's not winning at this point. Anyhow, what does it say? It's because he was paid. Well, whatever the case may be, the man is doing what he wants. And by the way, that's another thing he's doing also too, selling assets, creating his own crypto. I mean, the guy is just, he's able to do whatever he wants to do. Give it up for the man. The man is able to do whatever he wants to do with impunity. Is there anybody who believes otherwise? What would Trump look like after his swirly? What the hell does that mean? In Trump's defense, he won. He did win. That's true. He did win. But I disagree with the Matrix, who is saying he's doing what he promised. No, he's not doing what he promised. Did he end the war in 24 hours? Did he end any of those wars in 24? He promised to do that. I believe he promised to show us evidence of the 2020 election that he claimed was stolen. He hasn't done that. He never talked about imposing tariffs on the world. He's doing things he didn't promise to do either. He didn't promise to fire so many federal employees. He is doing things that he promised, but he's doing a lot of shit that he did not promise as well. He's going, I mean, do you think he ran on firing a large chunk of FAA workers? I don't believe he ran on that. So no, he didn't. He's doing way more than what he just promised. Anyhow, folks, if you do enjoy this type of dialogue, this type of conversation from all sides of the aisle, because we don't block, ban, or censor, and we always are MAGA friendly. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome as well. If you enjoy this type of dialogue, I'm going to ask that you follow the program. If you're watching on Clapper, if you are tuned in on Instagram, when we're on Instagram as well, or TikTok. And if you're watching on YouTube, give your boy a subscription. We generally are here Monday through Friday. So get that sick woman. So glad that sick woman lost. We dodged the bullet. I don't know if that's true, Terrence. I don't know if that's true. You may have dodged whatever Kamala Harris was coming with, but that doesn't mean that Trump isn't bringing a few bullets of his own. You may have dodged Kamala bullets and just got some from Trump. I don't know if that is absolutely true, because I do believe the tariffs, which I don't see how the tariffs have been beneficial to the American public at all. That wasn't going to happen under Kamala Harris. There are things happening under Trump. I would also say at this point too, Trump's stance on the Russian-Ukrainian war is proving to be flawed in every sort of way. Trump started out by blaming Zelensky of the Ukraine for starting a war and indicating that Vladimir Putin was only trying to act in self-defense because the Ukrainians were trying to join NATO. That is turning out to make Trump look awful. Many suggested, well, we voted for Trump because finally America's respected internationally, and they didn't respect Biden. Everybody was laughing at Biden. Is there anybody that believes that now? Even Trump now is starting to have a back and forth with Vladimir Putin. All of that shit, well, I know Putin, I can end it in 24 hours. That's really looking bad. It's really looking like he didn't know what the fuck he was talking about in that area. Now it's starting to look like the Trump administration is becoming sympathetic to Zelensky because he's at the table. He's willing to have a ceasefire. He's willing to work with the United States and Trump. He even got the rare earth minerals deal with Zelensky. It's clear it's your boy, the guy you claim to have known, the guy you were making it sound like was the victim in the Ukraine-Russian war. He's the bad guy. He's the guy you can't control. It ain't Zelensky. Zelensky was never the bad guy. Trump is looking terrible in that situation. It's looking like not only that, but now you got Trump on, I could bring up the video, but I'm not going to do it. But he's on video talking about, well, I don't know what the hell has happened to Putin, and he's sending rockets in. What the fuck? Like, the whole world told you this dude was a bad guy. Even Lindsey Graham and some of the folks in the Republican administration, Republican side of the aisle, were saying this stuff before Trump started speaking favorably of Russia. Even a lot of them got quotes making it clear Russia's a bad country. Trump comes in there and starts making it sound like they're a good country, and obviously MAGA and Republican politicians got quiet, but now all of that shit's backfired. It's pretty clear that the world, all of our allies, were correct on Russia, and Trump was wrong. And once again, MAGA's not calling them out on that. MAGA's not calling them out on that. But as the days go by, it's looking more and more like they were really. And by the way, Tucker Carlson went over there talking about how great it is in Russia and all that bullshit. All of that's looking terrible now. All of that is looking absolute terrible now. Trump sounded like, what does that say? He sounded like a scorned lover. Yeah, he's sending out fucking tweets or Truth Social, whatever you want to call them, talking about Vladimir, stop. I thought this was your boy. I thought you knew him. I thought you could end this war in 24 hours. Only you could do that. This shit is a mess. I would have preferred leaving Biden in there, who allegedly didn't know what he was doing, that was giving the Ukrainians the ability to fight for themselves. All Trump has essentially done is stepped in and tied Zelensky's hands behind his back and let Putin just keep punching him in the face. I mean, he didn't do anything for that war. Trump has done nothing good for that at all, other than just there's probably a whole lot of Ukrainians that have lost their lives because of our 2024 election that would still be alive today if Biden or Kamala Harris had won, because they were going to continue receiving weapons to defend themselves. Under Trump, they're taking a beating. And Trump's buddy, the guy he claims he knew so well, is just taking advantage of America's new stance under Trump to do nothing for them. I mean, they're getting slaughtered over there. And all Trump is, well, people are dying. I want the war to end. Why would he stop? Why would he stop? I mean, we're offering Russia nothing. Why would he listen to Trump? They're on the cusp of taking over a whole damn country and winning. Why would they listen to Trump? So he looks weak in this. For folks who suggested that Biden was the weak guy and everybody was laughing at him, Trump looks weak compared to Putin. Remember, Trump was telling Zelensky, you don't hold any cards, you don't have the card. Trump doesn't have any cards to get Putin to stop. We already got sanctions against Russia. Dictators don't give a damn about sanctions. If you're not going to put any meat on the bread, you can threaten to sanction Russia all you want. They're not going to listen to that shit. I mean, how long have we been sanctioned in North Korea? Their people are damn near starving. I heard they were eating grass. Do you think Kim Jong-un gives a fuck? We've been sanctioned in Iran for how long? Do you think they're going to give up their agenda because of every country doesn't bow down to sanctions? So I don't believe Putin is going to do that when he's on the cusp of taking over a country and potentially reestablishing the Soviet Union to some degree. Trump looks bad in that. We can talk about some of the other things where he may have accomplished that you might favor, but that Ukrainian-Russian war, he looks terrible in that, considering he started out bragging that he could end it in 24 hours. He looks like a major failure in that area. Anyhow, I do got to step away. I appreciate 55,000 on the likes. As always, it's your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Feel free to follow the program if you enjoy this type of dialogue. We'll be back on tomorrow. As always, give a subscription if you're on YouTube. Click that like button as well. And I'll catch you later. And I see somebody in the comments says MAGA. Who says that? Skyways. Well, he is the winner right now. He is the one that's on top. So you're getting what you want, but we'll see how it goes.